Driving that one forward, finds Carter Lowe through the neutral zone. Lowe waits, takes the shot, kicks aside, rebound, scores! Cole Bodwin! Welcome to the Sudbury Arena for tonight's matchup between the Barrie Colts and the Sudbury Wolves. I'm your host, Mike Poirier, joined alongside Gene Ferreira, and we also have Josh McCann tagging along with the road trip. He'll be joining us in the second intermission and for the second period. And for the Sudbury Wolves team, we're getting kind of familiar with these guys. Already the fourth meeting this season between the Colts and the Wolves, the third time here at the Sudbury Community Arena. This Colts team getting a little quite familiar with this Sudbury team.
Well, certainly, and a big win last time they were here. Looking to repeat that here tonight. Kashawn Aitcheson returns to the lineup, and of course, the last time he was here, 3 goals in that first period, that outburst, and the Colts looking to continue the ride here. I mean, a big weekend coming up here on the road, but 3 games that they should be right in there and looking to kind of expand on that lead in the Central Division standings.
And right now, the Barrie Colts riding that 9-game point streak. It's been some incredible hockey, really, since that 6-game losing streak came to an end. That win against Kitchener at home in overtime. And since then, this Colts team putting points together, climbing the Eastern Conference standings, now 2 points up on Niagara for first in the Central. So this team has turned around quickly, and you got to look to the top contributors. Emil Hemming, a big factor.
Yeah, obviously, he comes in the lineup, all of a sudden your penalty kill is that much better. Your power play logs a ton of minutes. The 3-on-3 with him, Kashawn Aitcheson, Cole Bodwin is dominating. And, Emil's one of those guys that you're not just getting a guy that can put the puck in the net, but you're getting a guy that is responsible at both ends of the ice. And a first-round pick of the Dallas Stars, and he's just been a huge boost for this lineup.
And the Barrie Colts coming off of that big win over the Peterborough Petes on Saturday. That may have been the game of the year so far. Both teams evenly matched, back and forth. Ben Horevic, sensational in net. Easton Rye, also great. But still, the Colts finding a way to get the 2 points in that one.
Yeah, I mean, Ben Horevic has just been outstanding. And, this is the goalie that the Colts envision coming into this year as a goalie that can make a difference. And, when you're maybe not at your best, he can help you get wins. And Ben Horevic has just been on a tear. And, talking to Dylan Smoskowitz, he was happy to see him kind of get rewarded with a win. I mean, after those tough losses in the Sioux in a shootout, and then of course the overtime loss to Saginaw 2-1, he was outstanding at both those games, and even better against the Peterborough Petes on Saturday, and he finally gets the W.
And it was a different look for the Barrie Colts. You already mentioned Kashawn Aitcheson back in the lineup along with Gabriel Eliasson after serving those 2-game suspensions. But for the defensive unit, this Barrie Colts team, Cole Emerton, Justin Hanser both stepping up. And, the back end looked different, but that's where the coaching staff has that confidence. They have the defensemen that have that next man up mentality.
Yeah, look, I mean, injuries and suspensions, they're going to happen. You got to find out. And, the successful teams have depth up front, depth in the back end. And, for Barrie, I think what really kind of developed here, I thought Cole Emerton on Saturday maybe had his best game of the season. And here's a guy that all of a sudden he becomes kind of one of the main guys back there with Aitcheson and Eliasson back there. He gets a ton of ice time, more ice time than I think he's seen all season. And he delivers in a big way. He's out there in the 3-on-3 in overtime, as a key figure on the power play. And I think, Cole, has shown each and every game that he just continues to get better and better. And, again, guys like Justin Hanser played a bigger role in the top 4 as well. And even Teague Vader and, again, a guy like Noah Barton getting some ice time as well. And, look, I mean, that's what it's about. You need depth. And I think for the Barrie Colts, Dylan Smoskowitz was pretty happy with how that back end played over the last week.
Now, speaking of depth, the Barrie Colts announcing earlier today the signing of Tate Collins. He's a free agent signing. He's a Huntsville, Ontario native, actually drafted by the Owen Sound Attack in the 2023 OHL priority selection in the 14th round. He's a commit to Union College in the NCAA. So adding more depth. Of course, with the Barrie Colts, you have the World Junior Hockey Championships in the back of your mind. Some players are going to go off to those camps, and that's where you have that extra depth, which will come in handy, especially with a guy like Tate Collins.
Well, that's why Marty Williamson makes the big bucks, right? He's way ahead of us and looking for moves, obviously, with the like I said, the World Juniors and Emil Hemming and Cole Bodwin most likely gone on the front end. You bring a guy like Collins who can provide some offense in the hopes here that, you add talent. Look, that's what it's all about. You keep adding talent. You hope that down the road that these guys can help you and provide some, some depth up front. And for Collins, it's an opportunity to step up to a bigger level of hockey, and maybe he can prove his way onto this roster and play a bigger role down the road. But no doubt, you bring a guy like that in, he provides offense, and looks like he's going to get an opportunity here soon.
So Tate Collins not in the lineup here tonight for the Barrie Colts, but they did announce that signing. So it'll be interesting to see when, in fact, he joins the Barrie Colts lineup. Now, we're going to go to our Coach's Corner feature brought to you by Mariposa School of Skating. We were able to catch up with Dylan Smoskowitz, who's becoming quite familiar with the Sudbury Community Arena, considering this is already our third trip north so far this season. Joined by Barrie Colts head coach Dylan Smoskowitz. And Dylan, you guys getting away from home for these next 4 games? It's been a pretty home-heavy schedule for you guys. Now getting a road trip like this, do you approach this any different?
We don't. No, we don't approach it any differently. The preparation's the same. The day-to-day is the same. If anything, we do talk a little bit more about how important our sleep schedule is, how important hydration is, how important proper nutrition is, just because the travel does kind of play a factor. But in terms of what we're doing as a group, with our video sessions, with our practices, our team meetings, and what our game plan is, it's a hockey game, and 2 points are on the line, and we're going to give it everything we have to get those points. And
it's such a weird schedule too. Sudbury here tonight, then Erie the next game. You're going at both ends of the compass. It's like the sleep schedule. That must be pretty crucial here for the guys.
It definitely is, and it's something that we really look into. So whatever time off the guys need, we give them. Rest is a real weapon in this league, and with the grind of a schedule like this, when you do have a couple road games looped together with a bunch of different travel in different directions, sleep schedule, rest, recovery, it's really big for our guys. So we're going to have a travel day tomorrow to Erie. We're not going to touch the ice. We'll get on the ice in Erie Friday morning before the game. We'll kind of go over some stuff, and we'll be ready to rock for these 3 games.
And Sudbury is becoming the second home. This is already our 3rd trip here. We were just talking before the interview about how strange it is that we're already here so often. We got another trip next week. Does it help, though, when you are familiar with an opponent such as Sudbury, that you guys have seen these guys before and you kind of have an idea of what they're going to bring?
It does. It goes both ways, because as familiar as we are with them and what they want to do, they're having the same conversations in their coach's office with their players as what they want to do with us. So it really does come down to whoever executes the game plan the best. We're not going to change much. I'm sure they're not going to change much. They're going to be prepared. We're prepared. It's who can execute, who wants it more. It's a Wednesday night, fresh legs, both sides here. So I'm looking forward to a good battle.
And you guys coming off a pretty exciting game against the Peterborough Petes over the weekend, that 3-1 win. You guys seem to be rolling right now.
Yeah, we just stick to the game plan. It's a process. Again, even when we were losing some games toward the beginning of the season, we were really happy with a lot of our efforts. We were happy with our numbers. We were happy with the analytics side of it. We just weren't getting the results. Now we are getting the results, but same, the analytic numbers, they're staying the same. The effort's staying consistent. Guys are really buying into the game plan. So it is a results-driven business. I'm well aware of that, but it's not always about the results. And that's something that our guys take a lot of pride in, is just kind of going through the process, winning one day at a time. We thought we had a good practice Monday. We really liked our practice yesterday, so we've won the first 2 days of the week. Now it's time to win day 3.
So that was Barrie Colts head coach Dylan Smoskowitz, and I liked what he said there at the end of the interview, how they're playing it day by day when you're getting ready for a 4-game road swing such as this. You won Monday, you won Tuesday, and now the goal is to win Wednesday as you take it one step at a time. This is going to be an interesting schedule. You're here in Sudbury tonight, so you're in Northern Ontario, and then you make the way to Erie, Pennsylvania for Friday. So a lot of travel here as the Barrie Colts get ready for this trip.
Look, that's when you get in trouble, right? You start looking ahead in the schedule, and all of a sudden you look past any opponent in the Ontario Hockey League, and it's on any given night. And look, the Colts came in here a couple of starts ago, and Sudbury beat them. So, and again, I know I've repeated this time and time again, but anytime these two rivals meet, there's a rivalry there. It doesn't matter where they are in the standings. They're always tough hockey games.
And for the Sudbury Wolves team, they're going to be a short memory here with what happened the last time the Barrie Colts were in town. Kashawn Aitcheson getting the hat trick in the first period, waving Chase Coughlin out of the penalty box. So that the Sudbury Wolves team, they're going to be ready for this hockey game.
Yeah, I mean, you look at it too. I mean, they're right there, right? They came back in the second period to tie it, and then Barrie with the big third period. And again, that's something that the Colts have strived for, is that consistency with the 60-minute hockey. And, Barrie last time here, a not so great second period allowed Sudbury to climb back and tie it. A big third period for the Barrie. Obviously, you want to get yourself off to a good start like they did in that game here last time. is key, but and a strong finish. Now you try to build that consistency right from the start to the finish.
Now, the Sudbury Wolves also announcing a signing today. Bjorns Bronis, another goaltender with this Sudbury Wolves team. We understand that Finn Marshall not with the team right now, waiting for a decision on that front. But this is a Wolves team. They might be at the bottom of the Eastern Conference standings. Things haven't been going their way to start off, but this is a team that can be dangerous. It's a bit of a trap game. And I know you mentioned you don't want to overlook them come schedule time, but overall, teams that are below you in the standings, such as Sudbury, it could be a bit of a trap.
Yeah, they're skilled. Look, these young teams, they know it. They're trying to show the coach, hey, I'm going to be a key figure. They get an opportunity for ice time, and again, then you got like vets for like Kieran Walton, who just seems to be like a Barrie killer. Always big efforts. Nathan Villeneuve, Chase Coughlin, guys that step up and anytime they face Barrie. But look, those rebuilding years, it's an opportunity for young guys to kind of show their team every game. They're kind of playing, trying to show their resume, right? And that's an opportunity here. You get Luca Blonde out, Trevor Odell's out, but a couple of big guys in the back end. But that again provides opportunity, much like Aitcheson and Eliasson being out for Barrie. It provides opportunity for other guys to step in. And trust me, they want to send a message to the coach that, hey, you can trust me, I can fill in.
And Scott Barney back behind the bench for the Sudbury Wolves after coaching Team Canada at the U17s. And he's been the one that's been kind of preaching that, stay out of the penalty box, that consistency, the discipline. And it kind of got away from them in that game against the Barrie Colts last time around. So that he's going to want to rein in that leash a little bit here. Still play physical, but don't allow the Barrie Colts power play to get going.
Yeah, I want to be physical, but when you go to the edge, I mean, look, this Barrie power play, we've been watching it for a while. They've been pretty good. Even last game when they didn't have as much success, they were able to create chances. And, it's something that right now, and all of a sudden you get Kashawn Aitcheson back on that power play. It's that much better.
So the two sides will be facing off at center ice in about 3 minutes' time. So we've got some time to kill here. Just a reminder, we do have the chat. It is open here on the channel. So if you want to join the conversation, we'll be looking at it in the first and second intermission. So if you have any comments about tonight's game, or if you want to talk about anything in particular involving the Colts, Wolves, or the rest of the OHL, you can put those comments there. I already see we've got Riley saying go Colts go, and then Epic Eric with the go Wolves. So looks like we got a 50-50 split on the fans already tuning into the broadcast. But that just goes to show this rivalry between these two teams. It runs deep, and it's always exciting when these two teams match up against each other.
Well, I love seeing the Sudbury fans coming right on, and that's all part of it. And look, have some fun. I mean, it's what it's about, and getting to see these young guys develop, play some hockey, and getting to see the future stars of tomorrow. But the rivalry for years between these two teams has been one of the better ones, and another episode, another chapter here tonight, and I just love it. I love seeing. Come on, Sudbury fans, come on board and let us know what you think.
So the Sudbury Wolves also wearing their green throwback jerseys tonight. Every game that we've been here, they've worn a different uniform. Last time it was the Shoresy, and now we've got the retro green, and they're going to be coming out on the ice momentarily. But it's these green jerseys kind of sharp. I know that a lot of fans at Sudbury wanted to see the green brought back, and the Wolves coming out on the ice right now. And I got to say, as a Jersey fan, I'm liking this look.
Oh, I love them. The old kind of Minnesota North Stars look with the green, yellow, and white. And, it's a tradition here with Sudbury coming back on the ice. And, hey, the other ones didn't work last time, so make a switch and try to see if he's very any better.
Yeah, nothing like a little superstition with sports. And, the Barrie Colts, they're going to be wearing their classic whites here tonight as they're both on the ice. And we're about a minute away from the start of this hockey game. And we're just going to take a quick break, and we'll come back after the national anthems as we get ready for the Barrie Colts and the Sudbury Wolves. So we are just about ready to go here for the first period of play between the Barrie Colts and the Sudbury Wolves. And before we get to the action, let's take a look at our starting goaltenders. Presented by Craighurst Crossing by Georgian Communities. New homes, minutes from North Barrie, where inspired living meets small town charm.
Well, we'll start with visitors. The Barrie Colts, Ben Revick, 6'3", 201-pound Milton native. He's making his 16th appearance in the season. 6'5", 1-3 record, 3.07 goals against average. Save percentage going up, 918 now. Of course, last start coming off an outstanding effort. The Speedro Keats with 43 saves and a 3-1 win on Saturday. And then at the other end, Owen Leonard gets the start from Sudbury Wolves. 6'1", 178-pound Toronto native. He's making his 10th appearance in the season. 2-3, 1-0 record, 3.73 goals against average, 880 save percentage. Leonard, a fourth-round pick in 2025.
Our referees tonight, Mike Cairns and Nick Isaacson, and on the lines, Carter Tate and Kyle Bradley, as we are just about ready to go here, just wrapping up the on-ice ceremonies with the Mats, and the Colts and the Wolves already meeting number 4 this season. The Colts have the advantage 2-1. However, Sudbury won the first meeting when we were here at the Sudbury Community Arena. So the Wolves, they know how to get the wins against the Barrie Colts. They just need to execute here tonight as they get ready for this one. The Barrie Colts going with the line of Carter Lowe, Calvin Crombie, and Brad Gardner up front. On the defense, Kashawn, Aitcheson, and Evan Passmore. And we are underway. Face-off won by the Colts. That'll come back to their own blue line. Passmore across to Aitcheson. Kashawn Aitcheson comes back behind his own net, goes to Passmore near side. Crombie receives the pass. He'll send this forward, finds Brad Gardner through center, carries this one in. That's blocked. Getting in the way of it there for Sudbury was Gonchar. Hovan will send that one around the boards. Hrabic leaving it behind his own net. Chitaroni's there trying to put it out in front quickly, but Hovan couldn't get there in time. Now it's Crombie up through center. Crombie has it on the right side, trying to drop it back. Kashawn Aitcheson trying to get it past Gonchar. It's knocked down towards the net. Crombie in front, and Leonard able to pounce on that as he was trying to pass it to Carter Lowe, who was wide open on the side of the net, but couldn't get a stick on it.
The Colts had a quick start the last time in here, and Kashawn Aitcheson up there, and Crombie trying to get that puck across the crease and hits his skate. Leonard not going to take any chances. And the Colts, Jaswell returning back. He's been out for a couple of weeks and returns to back up a Revick tonight.
Hagenbach doing a great job filling in for Jaswell for the last couple of weeks. He won his game here in Sudbury the last time we were up north. But it's Ben Hrebick getting the start tonight as the Colts trying to get it out. Eliasson had that blocked. Coughlin in the corner. His pass in front, taken away by Bodwin. Bodwin will send that one forward. Emil Hemming has it inside the blue line up to Schneid. William Schneid trying to carry this one in, stays with it, dumps it into the corner. Bodwin behind the Sudbury net. Takes a bump there from Yules. Bodwin sends back the line. Eliasson keeps it in. His shot on goal. Leonard got a blocker on it. Puck ends up behind the net. Picked up by Martin. Martin's going to send this one around as the Wolves regroup. Nate Villeneuve from his own blue line chips it off the boards. Coughlin catching up to it here for Sudbury. Coughlin to the net. That's taken away by Emerson. Colts get this one out. Bodwin takes a hit from Cairns. And that's going to be an offside call now against Sudbury.
Again, the Wolves are on home turf, and you want to set it out. They got off to a tough start last time. Scott Barney back behind the bench, and the Colts coming out with a good start here as well. You look at Bodie Stewart out of the lineup tonight. One major change up front.
And the line's looking a little different with Bodie Stewart out of the lineup. He's been playing some better hockey of late, so we'll see how long he's out of the lineup here for the Barrie Colts as the Wolves keep this one deep in the Barrie zone. Here's Henderson behind the Barrie net. He's going to come around the wing. Back to the blue line. Takes the shot. That's blocked. And the Colts will get it out. Vader ahead to Salandra. Salandra backhand. That's going to go into the Wolves zone. Doesn't go too far as Cairns will send it back. Hanser has to come after it as Berehowski's putting on pressure. Berehowski with a few slashes on Hanser, and the puck's going to come to the near side. Loose puck picked up by Henderson. He'll hit the brakes. Sends that back behind the Barrie net. Hanser there to collect it for the Colts. Up to Desiderio. Nicholas Desiderio gets this one out down the ice. Icing indicated, and we will get the whistle. And they're going to bring this back despite the protest from Alex Asadorian.
Sudbury Wolves with missing a couple of familiar faces on the back end. Trevor Odell out of the lineup as well. Big part of that power play. Luca Blonda out of the lineup tonight, so an opportunity for other guys to step forward. And like the Colts with with Eliasson and Aitcheson, that provides opportunity for other guys to step in and some big minutes tonight.
Face-off won by the Wolves. There's the shot from the point. That's going to go wide from Gavin Ewells. Puck's in the corner. Asadorian ties up his man. Sudbury still trying to move it around. Loose puck picked up by Hanser. Justin Hanser has it in the corner, trying to keep it away from Provorov. He'll go around behind his own net, gives it up to Aitcheson. Aitcheson reaching the blue line. He'll send that one across. Colts are making a line change. So Provorov will collect it for Sudbury back in his own zone. Back behind his own net, that's Brady Smith. Smith sends that one forward, deflected. Bennett was trying to get a stick on it, taken away by Gabriel. Gabriel sending it back into the Sudbury zone, collected again by Smith. He's going to peel back. Gabriel on the forecheck here as Provorov receives the pass. Wolves get it out. Chironi on the far side avoids the hit from McCormick. Puck goes behind the Colts net. Passmore collects the loose puck. Evan Passmore's got momentum. He'll skate it to center ice, trying to send it deep, and that's deflected. Wolves recover. At center, it's Kieran Walton now. He'll carry it in for Sudbury. Walton on the wing. Stopped by Harebic. Puck's loose. Wolves can't get to it. Colts collect it and get it out. Newton tied up at the blue line. Lads will send it ahead for Chitteroni. Chitteroni trying to keep it away from Eliasson. He's knocked off stride. Chauvin trying to get that one back. Crombie was in the way. Chauvin gets it again. Back at the point. There's the shot. Stopped by Harebic. And that's going to go into the netting and out of play.
Well, Ben Harebic gets a start again here tonight. And last time we were here, Hagen Bach, the young goaltender, made his OHL debut, picked up his first OHL win. Jaswell returns after missing a couple of weeks. And Mike, you got to figure that the Colts back in action after tonight, Friday in Erie, then Saturday in Niagara. Maybe Jaswell gets a start on Friday in Erie with Harebic getting back in between the pipes versus the Ice Dogs in that big clash among the two top teams in the Central Division.
Well, for Dylan Smoskowitz in the pregame, mentioned that it's going to be a travel day to Erie tomorrow as Crombie takes to the net. Backhand, stopped by Leonard. Gardner sends it back to the line. Kept in by Aitcheson. He's going to send it around the boards. Carter Lowe after it. And a battle there with Chitteroni. Puck comes around the boards. Crombie after the loose puck. Lads sends it ahead. Emerton comes off the point to play it for the Colts. Drops it back to Gardner. Brad Gardner at the line. Over to Aitcheson. Aitcheson takes the shot. Deflected. That's going to go over the net. Emerton down low for Barrie. Around the Sudbury net he goes. Still with it. Cole Emerton back to Aitcheson. Doesn't take the shot. Trades place to Emerton. Now fires. And Leonard able to get a glove on it despite having Carter Lowe parked right in front of the net.
Well, nice job by Lowe. Get to the front of the net. Create a bit of a screen as Crombie is going to carry this one into the zone. And a nice move before that. And trying to go between the pads. A nice stop by Leonard. But how about young Cole Emerton? You're starting to see him carry the puck more, going to the offensive end, and I think that's just a result of confidence. And last week, played some major minutes with Eliasson and Aitcheson down, and another turn in Emerton's development. That's got to be good news for the Barrie Colts.
Yeah, Cole Emerton, the quarterback on the power play for the Barrie Colts over the last two games, and even got ice time in the overtime as Coughlin takes it in for Sudbury. Takes the shot, stopped by Harebic. Rebound picked up by Beaudoin. He's going to flip this one to center. That goes off Ewells. Schneid sends it into the Sudbury zone, and that's going to be icing against the Barrie Colts as Schneid couldn't get back in time.
So we head through November, and, you know, again, you look at these teams, and they're all assessing, right? You got the January 10th trade deadline, and, well, Marty Williamson makes it clear that he could be an adder at the deadline, a guy looking to pick up pieces. For Sudbury, I think it's the opposite. Obviously, a bit of a rebuilding year here in Sudbury, and sell off the pieces and get some big parts for the future.
Yeah, that trade deadline coming up quick in early January, so we'll see what these two teams do. As the Wolves have it at their own blue line right now. Ferran sending it ahead for Coughlin. Chase Coughlin, backhand pass, picked off by Beaudoin. Beaudoin will send this one forward. Hemming receives the pass. Sends this one into the Wolves zone. Ewells back after it for Sudbury. Schneid delivers the hit. Wolves trying to get this one out as Villeneuve gives that one up for Coughlin. Chase Coughlin on the wing. He'll skate this towards the net on his backhand. Stopped by Harebic in front. Puck's loose. Nobody can get to it. Now it's passed over. Blocked again by the Colts. Schneid will get this one to center. He's run over as Nate Villeneuve delivers a huge hit at the Colts blue line. Play continues. Wolves with possession. Gonchar sends that one forward. Villeneuve enters the zone. He'll dump that one in. Puck goes around the boards. Vader there to collect it for the Colts. Salandra couldn't get a stick on it. Cairns has it at center ice for Sudbury. He's going to send that to the far corner, but they're going to call that icing as he sent that one in before the red line.
Well, that's what you got to love about Nathan Villeneuve again. You talk about what he brings offensively, but he brings so much more. And the perfect example there, just lowering the boom on that big time hit on Schneid. And it was like a runaway train there just at the blue line.
Well, you mentioned the trade deadline. You have to figure Nate Villeneuve may be a hot commodity between now and January, especially with what he brings with that example, that hit.
It's a piece you love to add. He's a guy that, he can play so many different roles for you, penalty kill and put on the offense. And the guy that just is one of those guys gets under his opponent's skin.
And the Barrie Colts know Villeneuve all too well over these last few seasons. He's been a member of this Sudbury team. As the puck sent through the center ice area, Gonchar is collecting it here for Sudbury. Backtracking, goes to Cairns on the near side. Cairns, his pass. That went off Henderson. Henderson gets it again. Knocked over by Salandra. Physicality now starting to pick up a little more as Vader turns it over. Gave it to Henderson, and that hits the side of the net. Panzer up to Desiderio. Desiderio at the line. He's tied up by Clayton, trying to pass that over. Taken away by Barahowski. Sends it on goal. Hrabic gets under it. He's just going to play it as the Wolves make a line change. Justin Hanser. He'll pass that one over to Vader. Teague Vader up the wing, deflected by Salandra. But that's going to go out of play with 13:25 to go in the first period. Still no score, as it's been a slower pace than what we've seen over the last few games involving the Barrie Colts.
Well, pretty decent start. And I think you got to figure that Scott Barney, after that tough start here last time these two teams met in Sudbury, well, that was one of the areas you definitely want to sharpen up. And the big difference in that, you're not going to the penalty box. And, we talked about the Barrie Colts and their issues with penalties and leading the league in the Ontario Hockey League in penalty minutes. And, well, that was a big factor. And, they've done much better here of late. For Scott Barney, I think the same thing here. You don't want to give that Barrie power play early chances. It burned you last time. And much better all around for Sudbury. And after those first few shifts where I think Barrie had a little bit of the edge in play, Sudbury's pushed back nicely here.
Yeah, shots right now even at 4 apiece between the Wolves and the Colts. Well, actually, depending on which shot clock you're looking at, the center ice one now saying 4-3 for the Barrie Colts. But either way, a pretty even game so far, as we'll bring the face-off to center ice. Winston Chitteroni will take the draw here against Cole Beaudoin. As the referee indicating for the Wolves to move along with their line change as they change the defense quickly here. Martin and Yules come on late. And play will resume here. Thought the linesman was going to drop it, but giving some last-second instructions. Now we'll continue play. Beaudoin sending this one back to Eliasson. Here's Cole Emerton. Over to Eliasson. Up the wing. Schneid trying to get a stick on it. That was blocked by Yules at the blue line. Govan stood up there by Eliasson. Puck's going to go back behind the Barrie net. That's Cole Emerton with possession. Emerton will take his time. We're approaching the 7-minute mark of the first. Barrie Colts with it. Eliasson up the wing. Schneid gets a stick on it, so no icing. That puck's going to go around. Yules, first one on for Sudbury, takes a hard hit from Beaudoin. Hemming takes to the corner. Behind the net to Beaudoin. Cole Beaudoin from the corner back to Emerton. Emerton can't handle the pass. He recovers, gets it back behind the Sudbury net. Schneid tied up there by Chitteroni. Hemming trying to take it away from Yules. He's taken it to the boards. Martin puts it to the open wing. Govan there to pick it up now for Sudbury. Stopped there by Beaudoin. Govan going up the middle. Passes that one over to Yules. Gavin Yules sends this one back. Colts are going to make a line change. As Chauvin gets that one into the Barrie zone. Doesn't go too far. Cole Emerton with possession in front of his own net. He'll send this one to center ice. Newton trying to get a stick on it. Smith sends it up to Walton. Walton put that behind Ferran. Aitcheson now up to Newton. Jaden Newton up to Aitcheson trying to settle it down, but that bounced over his stick. Puck goes to the corner. Ferran with possession here for Sudbury. He's weaving in the corner. He'll send that one up the wing. Villeneuve tried to get a stick on it, but that's going to be icing now against the Sudbury Wolves. As Sudbury playing things relatively calm right now, just trying to get the feel for this hockey game.
Well, again, I mean, last game here, they ran in penalty trouble and they got They paid the price for it. Much better start here. You're on home ice. Stay out of the box. Don't give that Barrie power play, which has been good of late, an opportunity. But I gotta say, Mike, I love these green uniforms. I mean, I almost expect to see Greg Hartsburg out there. Dating myself a bit here, but
Bringing up the Minnesota North Stars, eh?
Minnesota North Star jerseys, Glenn Sharpley and
Oh boy. Well, the Colts keeping it down low. That's taken away by Villeneuve. He's going to go for a skate. Villeneuve up to Ferrand on the wing, takes the shots, and Harevik makes the glove save. Is that line dangerous for the Sudbury Wolves team as they just quickly move it up the ice?
Ben Harevik, and after they went in the draft, and a lot of surprise. I talked to NHL scouts who really thought that Ben Harevik was going to go in the draft, and he got passed over, and it was a big surprise. And just talking to the coaching staff, and Harevik came back and said, all right, then I'm going to show that these guys and prove them wrong. And he's certainly done that here. And he just continues to get stronger and stronger. You've seen that save percentage climb. And, it came back. He was outstanding in his first game. But went to Boston camp. He told me he learned so much in his brief time there. And, look, this is a guy that's hungry. I mean, he came off kind of off the radar last year. And he split time with Sam Hillebrand. He earned that. And again, it's just been one of the better goalies in Ontario Hockey League, determined not to be passed over in the draft this time around.
Yeah, what a story Ben Harevik has been. As the question last season was who's going to be the backup goaltender. Not many people gave Harevik much of a shot, but he performed exceptionally well and continues that here this season as the Colts move this one into the Sudbury zone. Smith can't get a stick on it. Lads behind his own net. Trying to send that one forward. Coughlin fanned on it. Gardner sending it back to Lads. Lads gets to the line, kept in there by Hanser. Hanser up ahead to Lowe. Carter Lowe in the corner, trying to send it back to the point. Hanser again. Up ahead to Crombie, takes the shots, and that one blocked in front. That was Lads getting in the way, and now the Wolves get it to the line and out. Chase Coughlin at center ice, avoids the hit from Crombie. That's going to go back behind the Barrie net. Vader is there to collect it for the Colts. Teague Vader, he'll skate along the boards through center, dumps this one in. Asadorian after it, lets it go. Desiderio along the boards, has it in the corner for Barrie, facing pressure there from Bennett. Desiderio trying to get some space behind the net to Asadorian. Back to the line, Vader. Teague Vader to Asadorian. That bounced off his stick. Cairns is there. He'll send that back behind his own net. Gonchar comes up with it for the Wolves. He's going to flip this to the line. Kept in by Hanser. Justin Hanser with it again from the corner. He's going to go down low. Fans on the pass. In front, banks it off Leonard, and it's in. Justin Hanser with the bank shot from behind the net gets his first career OHL goal, and it's 1-0 Barrie.
Well, the last time the Colts were here, Hanser rushed the puck up and ended up setting up a nice goal. I think it was by Asadorian, and this time he's going to carry it into the zone, walk around the back of the net. I think he's trying to put this one out in front, but it ends up off the stick of Leonard and in. And Justin Hanser, again, just the confidence you saw. He played major minutes with Aitcheson and Eliasson out of the lineup. And you're starting to see that more and more by Hanser, kind of carrying the puck in, something we didn't see last year from him, that confidence, it grows the development. And nice goal by Justin Hanser to open the scoring here.
Justin Hanser, his first goal of the season and of his career as Beaudoin fires it on net. Leonard got a piece of it, puck's behind the goal. Karahowski will collect it here for Sudbury, avoids the hit. Clayton gets this one out, took a hit there from Beaudoin, puck's in the neutral zone. Martin comes up with it, he's going to dump it in. And it goes off the end boards. Henderson gives chase for Sudbury, then ends up back at the point. Mules takes the shot, that's deflected. Back behind the net, Eliasson can't hold on to it. Henderson sends it back to Barahowski. Martin at the point, sends that one wide of the net. Clayton trying to bank it in front, but that went off the paddle of Harevik. Colts trying to move it around on the far side. Emerson puts that one in front. Sudbury can't collect it. Back to the line, Martin. Martin puts that one to the corner. Henderson has that one go over his stick. Barahowski back to the line for Yules. The Wolves move it around the point. Martin's shot turned aside by Harevik. Puck's in the corner. Hemming coming back after it. He's tied up by Clayton. Henderson takes a hard hit into the boards by Emerson. Colts get the line, not out. Yes, it will. Martin fanned on the shot attempt. Hemming takes it away. Here's Emil Hemming on the wing. Takes the shot. Stopped by Leonard. What a chance there for Emil Hemming as Martin had difficulties at the point, but the Colts forward couldn't connect.
Well, nice job by Leonard. He came out, kind of cut down the angle and gets that one under the arm and hangs on to it as Hemming kind of blazing through that neutral zone. Well, man, this Sudbury defense been a little bit leaky here early, and the Colts trying to take advantage.
Yeah, Hudson Martin was trying to hold the puck at the blue line and tried to take the shot, but Emil Hemming, not the player you want to give a partial break to, but great job, Owen Leonard, to make that save. Is right now having a bit of delay as Ben Horevic getting his skate blade adjusted. So a bit of a pit stop there for the Colts goaltender, getting that new blade. But it's amazing how they can do that now. You take off the old one, plop on the new one, and away you go.
Well, before these, you have to wait like a 5-minute delay, and now it's just a matter of seconds.
So a good change there for the training staff for the Barrie Colts. Able to get Horevic back in his goal. We'll face off now to the left of Leonard. 8:57 left to go in the first period. 1-0 for the Colts. Face off won by Barrie, but Aitcheson can't hold it on the line. Sends that one ahead to Crombie at center ice. Calvin Crombie entering here for Barrie up the middle, off the crossbar. Calvin Crombie strikes iron. Colts keep it in the Sudbury zone. Back is Lads. Off the end boards, Gonchar settles it down up to Chauvin. Chauvin will get this one out. Down the ice it goes. Icing waved off as Kashawn Aitcheson will come back after it. Crombie receives the pass, goes back to Aitcheson. Across for Passmore. Passmore, long pass, finding Gardner. That bounced over his stick. Puck goes to the far side, and a late whistle as that's going to be icing against Barrie.
Well, again, Crombie just steps over the blue line. I don't know if that surprised Leonard a bit, but that quick shot looking for the top corner. Leonard just able to get the blocker out to get a piece of that deflected to the side there as Crombie almost sneaks one in.
Didn't we have like a half a dozen posts and crossbars in the game against Peterborough on Saturday?
There's a few of them. Hey, they showed the crowd, and an old friend of mine, Jeff from Midland, I just saw in the stands tonight.
You know everybody.
Hamilton, there you go.
Yeah, decent crowd here tonight in Sudbury for a midweek game. Wednesday nights is the throwback night for the Sudbury Wolves wearing the green jerseys. I saw in the comment section that there's a Wolves fan that enjoys them, but they don't win a lot in these uniforms, which is kind of too bad because they look sharp. Colts get it off the draw. Here's Crombie. He's going to send that one across. Ewell's after the loose puck at his own blue line. That's going to go back into the Barrie zone. Icing indicated, but Aitcheson's going to play it. Kashawn Aitcheson, backhand pass to Newton. Gave that one up to Shooteroni. Hovan, though, loses the handle of it. And the Colts will get this one out. Kashawn Aitcheson through the neutral zone. He'll send that one forward. Trying to knock it down was McCormick. Ewells has it in the corner. Back around the net it goes. Ewells will give chase for Sudbury. That's going to go. Looks like it may have made contact with someone on the bench, but play continues. Here's Hanser now up the middle. Hanser still with it. Decides to pass. He's trying to go back to McCormick. Puck sails all the way back to the Colts blue line. Vader fanned on it. Ferran collects it, sends it across. Coughlin, what a save by Horevic. Some quick passing there as Coughlin set up Nate Villeneuve, but the Barrie goaltender gets the better of him.
Well, Villeneuve had the driver out, and that one was all set for the feed, and Horevic able to get across. Another outstanding save by the Barrie netminder. Like you talk about the uniforms, I remember the old Barrie Red ones, Bert Templeton. They couldn't win in them, and it's funny, they went to the basement and never appeared for years. That one said he just had it. No way, not a chance. I'm bringing those out again.
Do you think those red uniforms are still in the basement of the Sadlin?
They might be. They're somewhere.
So it's a 1-0 hockey game for the Barrie Colts. Justin Hanser, the goal scorer tonight, as Smith has it right now for Sudbury. Fans on the first dump and attempt. Second time's the charm as Eliasson comes back after it for the Colts. Coughlin turns it over to Desiderio. Now it's Asadorian up through center ice. Up ahead to Salandra. That went off his stick. Asadorian trying to catch up to it. Desiderio behind the Sudbury net, takes it away. Tried the wraparound, but Ferran took it. Up the middle, turnover to Salandra, but he fell as he was trying to take the shot. Martin back after it for Sudbury. Facing pressure there from Asadorian. Martin is able to get this one up to Alex Ferran. Ferran across, finds Coughlin. Chase Coughlin takes the hit from Eliasson. Puck goes behind the Colts net. 6.5 minutes now remaining in this first period. Kashawn Aitcheson's going to settle it down, gives it up to Cole Beaudoin. Beaudoin Powering through the neutral zone, stays with it. Beaudoin into the attacking zone. Bass lads to the nets, but not able to get a stick on it was Hemmick. Pass more on the near side, down to Beaudoin. Back to the line, but no one there for the Barrie Colts. Henderson gives chase. Passmore cuts him off. Puck's in the Barrie zone. Schneid can't get it by Gonchar. Battle in front of the Colts bench. Schneid trying to move this one forward. He's tied up. Chasing after it now is Beaudoin. Berehowski, though, gets to it first. Ewells on the far side in his own zone. Up ahead to Berehowski through the neutral zone. Berehowski runs into the linesman. And Kashawn Aitcheson, he is hurt. Looked like he may have gotten that wrist jammed in the collision. So that's not a good sign for Colts fans as Teague Vader right now has it behind the net, turns it over right up the middle to Clayton, takes the shot, deflected over the net. Hanser behind his own net to play it, tied up there by Berehowski. Beaudoin sends this one to center ice. Hemming can't get a stick on it. Gonchar puts that one forward. Vader, backhand pass, takes a hit from Clayton. That's going to go back behind the Sudbury net. Back to pick it up is Gavin Ewells. Ewells up to Walton. Walton reaches center ice. He's going to pass that one ahead. Chitteroni on the wing. Passes it to the net. Walton got a piece of it, but stopped by Heremic. Vader up the ice. Flips this one down. Cairns trying to go back after it for Sudbury as the icing's waved off. Cairns dropping this one around. Walton's there for Sudbury. That's deflected by Lowe. Carter Lowe up to Gardner. Gardner finds Crombie. Crombie's going to send this into the Sudbury zone. Under 5 minutes remaining now in the first period. Puck's taken away. Carter Lowe behind the Sudbury net. Backhand pass to Eliasson. Eliasson gives that one to Gardner. Gardner shot blocked, and that's going to come out to center ice. Cole Emerton from inside his own blue line. Passes that one forward. Finds Lowe. Lowe sends that one in, but it went off the stick of Martin. Martin able to collect that in the corner. Sends that one around. Far side, Smith. Up the middle. Colts trying to recover. Picked up there by Walton. He's going to peel back into his own zone. Up ahead, here is Chitteroni, picked off there by McCormick coming off the bench, and that's going to be a penalty behind the play. As this one looks like it's going against Govro, he's going to go to the box.
An opportunity there. We saw Aitcheson go off and seen him since. Govro's going to go to the box, and we'll have the first power play of this contest. Sudbury Wolves, he actually got a Sudbury player down as well by just in front of his bench. It's like, is that Provorov? No.
No, it looks like Chitteroni in front of the bench there. Well, good news for Barrie Colt fans. Kashawn Aitcheson is back on the ice. He's right now skating. As it didn't look good. There was a collision there with the linesman between Aitcheson and Berehowski, and he jammed his wrist, it looked like.
Chitteroni ends up leaving the game.
So we got Aitcheson back and then Chitteroni going down the tunnel.
So the dressing room, hopefully he's all right and able to return back. Quite see what happened there in front of the the Sudbury bench.
Well, right now they're going to do the TV timeout, but a lot to unpack there in the last couple of minutes as went back and forth. We saw some good chances. We saw Aitcheson go off for a moment with that injury, and now Hudson Chitteroni off before the Sudbury Wolves get the first power play of the hockey game.
Well, this Colts penalty kill has been much better the last few games, and the Wolves here, an opportunity, a couple of chances in this first period for Sudbury, but thought Barrie was starting to pick up play there and a couple of good chances. And again, Sudbury, that blue line, missing Odell and Blondin, just a little bit leaky, especially trying to bring the puck out of their zone a couple of times. They've turned it over.
Well, good news for Sudbury Wolves fans as Hudson Chitteroni has returned to the Wolves bench. So didn't miss any ice time as he just needed, I guess, a walk down the tunnel to walk off whatever it was that he was dealing with.
Yeah, that's nice to see and get back out here. He was out for a while before. And right back here. Different lines from Sudbury than what we saw Villeneuve moving over from center to the wing.
So the power play underway here for the Sudbury Wolves. It's ranked 9th in the OHL, operating at 20%. As Villeneuve has it in the corner, back to Gonchar. Gonchar goes back to Villeneuve. Gonchar receives the pass at the line. Over to Walton. Walton down low, finds Berehowski. Back to Walton. Kieran Walton from the sideboards. There's Hoban. His shot over the net. Villeneuve able to recover that loose puck. Drops it back to Gonchar. Gonchar back to Villeneuve. Nate Villeneuve, his pass off the skate of Beaudoin, and that's going to escape the zone with 1:27 left in this power play. And for the Barrie Colts, their penalty kill, it's been improving steadily. It's now up to 16th in the OHL at 75.6% as that puck's deflected out of play. And that was a glaring weakness early on in the season for the Barrie Colts, was that penalty kill. But it's been steadily getting better since the start of this 9-game point streak.
Oh, much improved. And talking to Dylan Smoskowitz and crediting Patrick Sexton with his work on the penalty kill and that improvement there. And Sudbury power play, a different look. You got Gonchar back there with Blonda out of the lineup. Usually it's Blonda kind of running things back there, but Gonchar takes over those quarterback role on the power play.
Power play down to 1:08 here for Sudbury as Walton takes it back to the point. Kieran Walton down low finds Barahowski. His pass to Gonchar. Gonchar sets up Walton across the Villeneuve. One-timer. That's going to miss the net. Walton fires. Stopped by Hrebeck. Emerton couldn't get a stick on it. Wolves still with possession. Barahowski back to Walton. Quickly across to Villeneuve. Nate Villeneuve gets it off the boards. Near side now, Walton winds up. Doesn't take the shot. Now he'll pass it across, but Newton got in the lane. Ended up falling in front of the net. Villeneuve with possession. Comes back to the line. Sets up Walton. Kieran Walton from the face-off circle. Quick pass. And somehow that one went way over the net as Jan Hovan was alone in front.
What an opportunity for Villeneuve there and getting the puck across to him for the one-timer. Well, he kind of didn't get quite the shot that he wanted to, but Hrebeck was still coming across. And that one was able to move across pretty quickly, but Villeneuve just not able to get a good shot away.
So 31 seconds remaining in the penalty to Luke Govro. Face off to the right of Hrebeck. Wolves have it at the line. That's Martin. Gives that one up to Provorov. Down low, Coughlin. Passes in front. Stopped there by Lowe. Wolves regain possession. Martin to Chitteroni. Back to Provorov. His shot stopped. Rebound. Bennett trying to get to it. Looked like a high stick on Hrebeck. He keeps his helmet on. Here's Provorov at the point. Passes it across, but Salandra got a stick in the lane. Chitteroni trying to pass it, but good stick work by Salandra. Now he's going to chase after the loose puck. Power play coming to an end. So Sudbury now 0 for 1 on the man advantage. 2:17 remaining in this first period. Puck in the Sudbury zone. Gavin Ewells is going to skate this one ahead. Ewells through the neutral zone. He'll flip this one deep. Vader after it now for the Colts. We'll leave it there for Hanser. Hanser ahead finds Cole Beaudoin. Beaudoin has that knocked off a stick by Ewells. Bennett sends this one back into his own zone where Ewells will find it. Up ahead to Bennett. He can't handle it. Cole Beaudoin will go back to his defense. Teague Vader from his own blue line. He'll skate this one ahead. Now sends it around the boards. Far side. Henderson waits for it. Hemming gives chase. Henderson trying to get it out. Beaudoin lost his stick. Colts, though, keeping it at the point. Schneid fires. Stopped by Leonard. Clayton gets that one in the corner. Sends that one to the near side. Kept it at the point by Vader. No, it bounced over his stick. Vader's got to come back after it. Henderson putting pressure on. Far side Hanser. Up to Beaudoin. Kicked that one forward. Icing waved off. Cairns will pick it up here for the Wolves. Ewells up the wing to Ferrand. Alex Ferrand inside his own zone. He'll pass that one forward. Henderson at the Colts blue line chips it in the zone. Passmore collects it now for Barrie. Ferrand trying to cut him off behind the net. Near side Asadorian. Alex Asadorian. Can't get that one past Henderson. Puck's in the corner. Henderson has that go off his leg. Colts will move it out. Hemming puts that one off the boards. Trying to chip past Clayton, but stood into that play. Puck goes to the corner. Brady Smith now for the Wolves. Passes this up to Ferrand. Blocked by Desiderio. Desiderio along the boards. Takes the bump there from Smith. Battle continues. Aitcheson keeps this one in. Villeneuve trying to get it out. Puck comes back to Gonchar. Up the wing. Walton. 38 seconds left in the period. Walton to the net. His pass blocked by Eliasson. Gabriel Eliasson comes up with it over to Crombie. Calvin Crombie skating this one in the zone for the Colts. Gets by Villeneuve. He'll hit the brakes. Crombie trying to go back, but he had Villeneuve in the way, and now Walton skates it ahead. 22 seconds remaining. Walton enters the zone, drop back for Gonchar. There's the shot, stopped by Hrebeck. Firing that was Villeneuve. Puck's behind the net, 12 seconds. Here's Calvin Crombie. He'll get this one out to center ice for the Colts. Crombie just dumps this one in to let the clock run. 5 seconds remaining. Gonchar behind his own nets, and he'll send this up the ice. But that will do it for the opening 20. Not a lot of action in that first period, as it was a pretty cautious start to this hockey game for both teams. But the Barrie Colts find themselves on top after the opening 20 minutes.
Yeah, a lot of it from the perimeter. Nice rush by Justin Hanser and trying to put it out in front. Goes off Leonard's stick and in. But from Sudbury Wolves, again, they stay out of the box and had a power play opportunity there. And I think not a bad one. They had the Colts pinned in the zone for most of the time, not able to capitalize. But an interesting 20 minutes here. Like you said, Mike, a lot of it was from the outside.
The only thing that was probably raising the alertness of Barrie Colts fans was the sign of Kashawn Aitcheson going down. Looked like he jammed his wrist when the collision went into the linesman. But good news for Barrie fans. Aitcheson comes back, but still, that was a bit of a scary incident there on that far boards.
Yeah, it's always a scary sight. I mean, the big guy back there logged just so much of ice time. And, you look at your offense when he brings offensively the top goal scorer among defensemen in the Ontario Hockey League. And anytime you see that, it's a scary situation, but it's nice to see him right back out there.
And, of course, Hudson Chitteroni also going off due to injury, but he came back quickly. So the two injured players returning to the lineup, which is good news. But it is the first intermission. Barrie Colts up 1-0. Justin Hanser, his first career OHL goal. Big moment there for Hanser. And that was a bank shot from behind the net.
Well, again, I think you see the confidence coming with him in his game, the ability to kind of rush the puck more. We've been seeing that more from him. He just came off, a couple of games there where he played top 4 minutes, and he played very well. And, nice to see him rush there. And again, I think he was trying to get that puck out in front, saw a couple of white jerseys, but fortunately for him, it goes off the stick of Leonard and in.
So the Barrie Colts, as we mentioned, up 1-0. We do have the chat, so we'll check in with the chat in a few moments. But first, Josh McCann had a chance to catch up with Colts co-captain Cole Beaudoin before the game. So we will catch up with their conversation here.
Well, joined by Colts forward Cole Beaudoin. Colts first game of a bit of a long road trip, 4 games, and then 6 of the next 7 are also on the road. What's kind of the mindset when you're on the road for this long?
Yeah, it's obviously kind of a long span of being on the road, but I think we just need to play our game and quiet the noise in the other buildings and just focus on us, focus on what we can do and what we can control.
Now, 2 of the games on this 4-game road trip are your 3rd and 4th matchup against the Sudbury Wolves in the last month in this arena. Are you getting used to being here in the Sudbury Community Arena?
Yeah, it's definitely a lot. We've been playing Sudbury a lot this month, but that's the way it goes. That's the way the schedule is lined up. So, just kind of obviously getting used to it, but it's always a good rivalry, so it's going to be a good game every single time we play them.
Now, you mentioned it being a rivalry game. Has it felt as these games go on, it's gotten a bit more physical out on the ice?
Yeah, I think the more times you play a team, it just tends to get that way. But we can't really focus on the stuff after the whistle. Obviously, we're going to play physical, play our game, but we need to stay out of it, stay disciplined, so we stay out of the box.
Now, you were named co-captain earlier this season of the Barrie Colts. What's it been like sharing that captaincy with Kashawn Aitcheson? And do you guys give each other a hard time depending on who's wearing the C that night?
Yeah, I think it's we both know we're just there for each other. Obviously, it's super exciting to share it with him. I've been with him for 4 years now, so he's a great player, great person. So it's amazing to share with him. So yeah.
You've had a couple captains in your Barrie Colts history, like Bo Jelsma and Connor Punnett. Did you learn anything from them during that time?
Yeah, I think just be yourself. Don't change anything about yourself. Don't try to be someone you're not. I think I'm a good leader, just leading by example, being vocal. So, just trying to learn and improve as a leader every single day. So that my leadership skills improve each and every day.
You're off at Utah camp again this season. What was that experience like?
Super cool, obviously learning from the NHL players, just being able to play preseason games. So each and every day, just trying to take it day by day. But when I'm on the ice or off the ice, just trying to ask guys different questions, pick their brains, so that if I came back here, that I was able to give those little wisdom tips to the younger guys on this team. So it's been good.
Now, I talked to Emil Hemming a couple weeks ago, and he mentioned to me playing on a line with you. You're both out to kind of prove to your NHL teams that you're past the OHL and belong in the NHL and AHL. Is that something you agree with?
Yeah, for sure. It's obviously, you're frustrated when you get sent back, and you want to prove that prove Utah, prove the NHL team that you're gonna make that team. So that's my goal, is to prove them that I should be on that team this year, and next year I want to make the team. So yeah.
Now, obviously, all the time you're talking to people with Utah in preparation. What is something that they're looking for from you to take that next step?
I think they're pretty happy with my all-around game, but I think it's just developing each aspect, just defensively, make sure that I'm responsible, offensively working on my skills, my touches, all those kind of stuff. It's little stuff that just helps you at the next level. I don't think it's a major thing, which is good. Just working on the little details.
Now we're getting towards World Junior time, and with the new rule changes coming to the CHL, there's a lot more Americans on the roster now. Is there a bit of a friendly battle going on about that and who might win the World Juniors?
Yeah, obviously we've got a couple of more Americans on our team this year, so we definitely talk about it. But our main focus is just our team, and when that time comes around, hopefully, much players on our team make their clubs and make their teams, and that's the goal.
Cole, thanks for doing this. Good luck tonight.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
So it's the first intermission between the Barrie Colts and the Sudbury Wolves. Barrie right now up 1-0 with that go-ahead goal from Justin Hanser. And the chat has been lively tonight, so we will dive right into it. So if you want to join the conversation, you can put your messages in the chat as the conversation's wide open about the Barrie Colts or the happenings around the Ontario Hockey League. And first off, Scott asking, hey, Mike and Gene, this might be an interesting question. When we received Romani and Owen Van Steensel from North Bay, we gave them 4 conditional picks. Was that if Romani played this year, or how far they made the playoffs?
From what I understand, and I'll have to confirm this, but from what I understand, the picks were all regarding the Batani returning for this season in that trade.
And obviously, a lot of fans in the OHL keep an eye on the NCAA, because the question is, will any of those players come back? And obviously, Anthony Romani, playing over in Michigan, has that opportunity to come back to the OHL if he so chooses. But obviously, that'd be a big boost for this team. And then North Bay potentially getting the benefit of those picks.
That's right. I mean, obviously for the Colts, they'd get a big-time scorer back. And, look, I mean, it's all new for a lot of these players, a lot of these teams, about how the NCAA will have an effect and the changes made there. And you could see players coming back that go there, don't get the ice time. They're playing older competition, so it's kind of harder to step in a lot of ways. So it'll be interesting to see if you get players, more players coming back.
Well, we know of one player for sure that went back to the Western Hockey League, so that it's starting, and we'll have to wait and see how it all transpires here over the next little bit. Now we got YXU Flyer. I'm a neutral fan, but I can't see Sudbury winning based on how they played so far. Their defense really needs to be improved, or I don't think they'll make the playoffs. What are your thoughts there on
Barrie Colts head coach Dylan Smosk?
What are your thoughts there on Sudbury?
Yeah, looking, I mean, obviously you got Odell and Blonda, 2 regulars out of the lineup tonight. And, look, I mean, those are big factors, right? Blonda's a major part back there. And, it's one of the areas I think the Colts, I think he's right, the Sudbury Wolves are going to look to improve. And, come trade deadline, you got some big pieces, Villeneuve and Walton. Look, it's tough. It's tough to move players, popular players, but, there's a big pieces that you get returned, not just draft picks, but major guys, young guys that come in your lineup. And, the next year and the year after that, in a couple of years, they're playing big roles. So that's something I'm sure that the Sudbury Wolves will look at here as we get closer to the deadline and when it's clear a rebuild year for the Sudbury Wolves.
And of course, some were surprised about that Henry Muse trade last year when they brought him in over from the Ottawa 67. So this is a Sudbury Wolves team, obviously in a rebuild with the way this season's going, but we'll have to wait and see where it goes from here. And we also have the question, do you guys think the OHL will announce the punishment for Luke Dragosika? I can't imagine it'll be good news if it's taking this long.
Yeah, I know everybody's kind of, okay, where's the ruling? But obviously, the league wants to take a look at this. And, it's funny, you see all sorts of different reactions. Some people saying, that he should be gone 5 games. Other people saying 20. He's got to get at least a minimum of 20. Then you got even some people saying that he should be gone for the year or maybe even out of the league. And I think the OHL is going to take a look at this. Look, it was a scary situation. You don't want to see that type of use of the stick. And, I think we're going to get more into the kind of, the fortunate thing is the player wasn't seriously injured on that. I think that might factor into it here, but I think you're going to see at least a minimum of 15 games and then go from there. I'd be really, really surprised, if he gets the full season and then maybe he's able to apply to get back in next year.
Well, I think the comparable situation for this would be the Mike Liambus hit on Ben Finelli back in 2009. Finelli had a fractured skull after getting his head run into the glass and was in the hospital for weeks. So Liambus, as a result, he was suspended for the rest of the season, which was the equivalent of 52 games for the Erie Otters. So the league at the time, David Branch said the injury was a factor in the decision. So you have to wonder, with Vlasic not being seriously hurt, if that's going to reduce the time. And I think I'm agreeing with you where it's probably starting at about 20 games would be my guess.
Yeah, look, I think you got to send a message, right? Regardless of what the injury is, with the Vlasic, is I think you got to send a message here that he can't give 2 options. What is kind of scary is that even after he went down, he still gave a bit of a cross check and another whack. And look, I know things get heated out there, and sometimes you're not thinking about it, but I think the league has to certainly send a definitive message here that you don't want to see that at all.
And Coffee Household, hey, Mike, for the next game, could you please add a counter to the screen so we can sync the video to your commentary, please? Just a normal time clock. Doesn't have to be a game clock for simplicity. You're about 20 seconds ahead of the Flow Hockey stream. Hey, good to know. I was wondering how much of a delay there was, but we'll see on the technology side if we can maybe figure that out. Josh was even suggesting a clicker of some kind. So we'll figure something out, especially because I know there's a lot of fans who want to have our audio over top of the Flow Hockey stream. So that's definitely something we'll look to because they want to hear more of Gene Ferreira.
It's nice to know that we're ahead of our time, especially an old timer like myself, but certainly whatever we can make it easier for fans is something that we'll look into. And it's just great to see, to be able to kind of correspond, go back and forth for the fans. I love this interactive stuff and I love making them a part of the broadcast.
And we've got Tammy saying, let's go Colts, bring home the win. Hi, guys that are talking. I just got here. Are you guys doing this every away game? I hope you can so that the people at home here in Barrie can hear the game. So, yes, Tammy, we're going to all 34 road games this season. It's obviously a lot of miles that we're putting in. We were up in Sault Ste. Marie 2 weeks ago, and now we're going to be, Josh McCann and I will be doing the game in Erie on Friday. So, tune in. And like Coffee Household was saying, you can even sync up the audio with the video, or you can always Bluetooth the audio in your car if you're driving. There's so many different ways to tune in.
So many different ways. And, with the times that we've been here in Sudbury this month, I think we're looking into some real estate maybe. It's going here. It might be cheaper to get a place here in Sudbury, just the amount of times that we've been here in Sudbury. But it's great going on the road and providing something the Barrie Colts have never had is that hometown coverage. And, a big factor is obviously, the people that come in and, listen to the broadcast is so important, and that helps us for well. Whether it be the Mariposas, the Jamie Massey's out there that are helping us make this possible. Sponsorship is such a key part of it, and we rely on it, and everyone want to step forward and help us cover those costs. But it's great. It's great to be out here on the road and bring every game to Barrie Colts fans.
Yeah, it's been a fun ride so far. A lot of learning along the way with especially the technology and doing the live stream here on YouTube. But it's been great so far. Can't wait to see where it goes from here because this is something brand new for the Barrie Colts. They've never had this before. So being able to broadcast these games on the road, also even to interview the players, it was great to have Josh talking to Cole Beaudoin, for instance. That's having that lengthy chat, catching up with him, and also the pregame show with Dylan Smoskowitz. So we're bringing the Barrie Colts to you, and that's the whole plan as we continue through the 25-26 OHL season.
Well, it's again, the trio. Josh, he brings the average age down a bit, but he's done a great job just interviewing the players again. And this is all information that we can provide. Be it injuries, be it those type of things about the team that we can give them a little bit more inside information. Whatever we can to make it more pleasurable covering. Look, there's a lot of diehard Colts fans, and I just love the fact that we're getting fans from opposing teams as well. Everybody's welcome aboard.
Yeah, and it's great to be able to just chat OHL hockey throughout the season. So I want to thank everyone for coming onto the chat so far. We will return to the chat in the second intermission as the players now getting ready to come back on the ice for the second period of play. And for the Barrie Colts, you have to be happy with that start. Justin Hanser getting the lone goal. Someone that has been picking up the pace, but an unlikely, goal scorer for the team, which is great to see. You need that depth.
Well, you see the confidence, and he's rushing the puck more. He set up last time they were set up a really nice goal. I think it was Alex Asadorian in front of the net, and this past week with Aitcheson and Eliasson out, Hanser was able to step up into that top four and play major minutes, and he did really well.
So the two teams coming out on the ice. So we will get sets as Josh McCann, I think, excited for his opportunity to join the broadcast as Gene Ferreira will get a bit of a break here, and then Gene will return for the third period of play. So it's been a fun game so far. Teams going back and forth, and we'll see how this all plays out as we wait for Josh McCann to put on the headset before the start of the second period. The Barrie Colts leading 1-0. Shots, though, favoring the Sudbury Wolves 11-8. And remember, the Sudbury Wolves, they did have the power play in that first period, got a few good looks. Nate Villeneuve with a couple of great shots, but Ben Horevic standing tall so far, much like we saw in the last two games against the Saginaw Spirit and the Peterborough Petes, as we're now joined by Josh McCann, who is now back in the booth. You've done that ladder now a couple of times.
Over the last couple of weeks, I've gotten so adjusted to that ladder. It's like I've been here for 5 years now. The first time we were here, I was coming up back and forth. I had to go down a couple times during pregame. I climbed that thing about 10 times the first time we were here.
Well, I used to do games here in Sudbury, and I totally forgot how steep the ladder was because it's been 10 years since I did games here in Sudbury. But once I had the equipment going up those steps, I was like, oh, yes. The ladder.
I saw a video on YouTube to prepare myself beforehand, and I'm looking, I'm like, it's not that bad. And then I get here, I look at it in person, I'm like, whoa,
it's vertical.
Yeah.
So if you ever get a chance to come to the Sudbury Community Arena, you have to take a look at the press box ladder as the second period of play now underway. The Colts get it deep in the Wolves zone. Sudbury gets this one out to center ice where it's collected by Kashawn Aitcheson. Aitcheson from his own zone now. He'll pass that one across to Passmore. Up the wing, deflected in by Crombie. That's going to go back behind the Sudbury net. Lads there to collect it for Sudbury. Ahead for Jovan. Jovan from his own blue line, picked off there by Crombie. He'll put it right back into the Sudbury zone. Carter Lowe is offside, so this gives Sudbury some time to work with. Puck goes to the far side. Gonchar facing pressure there from Gardner. Out to center, picked up there by Jovan. Ahead, finds Kieran Walton. Walton's going to peel back at the line. That pass doesn't connect with Chitteroni. Puck goes to the corner. Ewells trying to get that one back. Gardner, he's tied up. He's able to get this one out to center ice. Gonchar skating it back here for Sudbury. Doesn't get a lot on that pass attempt. First one on it is Passmore. He runs over Chitteroni. Ewells across to Gonchar. Up the wing. Far side, Walton. He'll enter the zone for Sudbury. Walton drops it back to Coughlin. Takes the shot, but breaks his stick in the process. Puck goes to the corner. Walton in front. No one there for Sudbury. So William Schneid will just send it ahead to Cole Beaudoin. Beaudoin on the wing, takes the shot, stopped by Leonard. Martin gets to it in time. Puck bouncing at the side of the net, picked up by Ferrand. Alex Ferrand, he'll go back behind his own net, trying to settle things down a bit here for the Sudbury Wolves. Gets this out to center. Picked off there by Hemming. Villeneuve, though, takes it away. He'll skate in front of his own net. Villeneuve sees the Colts making a change. He's going to skate this one forward, reaches center. Villeneuve enters the zone here for the Wolves. In the middle, peels back to the point. He'll pass that one over to Martin. Martin takes the shot. Hrebeck got the blocker on it. Ferrand gets this one on the far side, dropping this one down low to Coughlin. Puck rolls behind the Barrie net. That's where a broken stick gets in the way. But the Colts have possession. Emil Hemming from the line gives that one up to Beaudoin. Cole Beaudoin will skate this one in for Barrie. Beaudoin from the corner to the nets, and Leonard got a piece of it. Puck's going to sail all the way back to center ice. Ratig Vader finds it over to Hanser. Hanser flips this one high in the air. That's going to go to the corner, bouncing in front. Leonard will leave it in the corner. Yules gives that one up to Desiderio. Puck was bouncing on him. Yules gets it again. Sends it back to Martin. Martin comes out from behind the net. Up to Villeneuve. Villeneuve facing some pressure there from Salandra. He's going to flip this one out to center ice. Vader gets in the way of it. Knocked over by Coughlin. Desiderio with possession, but they're going to call this a glove-to-head pass with 17:28 remaining in the second.
Well, nice to see some of the players from the first period that had to go down for a bit with injuries returning. Kashawn Aitcheson skated off holding his arm, but he's no worse for wear, along with Liam Lads, who blocked a shot, and then Hudson Chitteroni just returning from an injury. Got hit in the head there by Luke Govro, slow to get up, but he's back out there for the second period.
Yeah, those are two key players for the respective teams. You don't want to see them miss any sort of ice time, especially for Kashawn Aitcheson, who's playing his first game after that 2-game suspension for the incident that happened in Sault Ste. Marie. As we're just waiting to figure out where to drop the puck. They're going to drop it at center ice. One there by the Colts. Vader from his own blue line sends this one up to Desiderio. He's going to send this one into the zone. Cairns there to collect it now for Sudbury. Quickly to Gonchar. Gonchar up the wing to Barahowski. Barahowski reaching center ice. Carrying this one in. We got a delayed penalty call coming against Barrie. Barahowski in front. Quick shot. Stopped by Hrebeck. Clayton was stopped point blank. As it's delayed call here against the Colts. Gonchar to the nets, but Walton can't get a stick on it. Cairns fires, and that goes wide. And that's going to sail all the way back into the Sudbury zone. Rowan Henderson back to pick it up here for Sudbury. Still that delayed penalty against the Colts. I think it's going to be a slashing penalty here against Acidorian, but we'll have to wait for the official call as Cairns will send this one ahead. Off the bench, that's Villeneuve. Villeneuve at the line. Goes to Chitteroni, but getting a stick on it here is McCormick, and we'll get the whistle. And we'll get the call, and it is a slashing penalty, so the Sudbury Wolves are going to get their second power play of the hockey game.
Don't think players skated over yet. No one really knows who it is.
Well, I thought it was going to be Alex Acidorian.
They keep putting 4 up, like maybe it's Teak Vader.
I think the referee forgot who took the penalty. It's Mike Cairns, the official. And now, so it's going to be Salandra now coming into the penalty box. And just to note, Kashawn Aitcheson is in the hockey game, not suspended. Just wanting to give that update there for Atlas They Speak. So face-off won by the Sudbury Wolves. Are on the power play second time tonight. Villeneuve to the net, scores! That one was deflected, goes through the 5-hole of Ben Hrebeck. And the Wolves have tied this game at 1.
Well, you got to be good to be lucky and lucky to be good. And Nathan Villeneuve just trying to pass the puck across to Barahowski on that play. And I think it might have deflected off of Evan Passmore and into the net. The Barrie Colts, that's now only 12 for 13 over the last 3 games against the Sudbury Wolves on the penalty kill.
So for Nathan Villeneuve, that's now 9 goals on the season. Gets a break. As we're just seeing the replay ourselves, and it looks like it went off a player right in front of Ben Hrebeck. This game tied at 1. So Gardner will take the draw here against Bennett. Wins this one back cleanly. Aitcheson's there to play it for the Colts. Aitcheson from his own blue line flips this one ahead. Gardner gives chase. Yules finds it for Sudbury. He'll send that one across. Cairns up to Provorov. That goes off the linesman. Crombie sends it into the zone. Yules back behind his own net to play it here for Sudbury. Ahead, picked up by Ferran. Back to Cairns. Cairns, though, nearly lost it to Crombie. Bennett can't get a stick on it. Picked up here by Crombie. His pass is blocked. Bennett gets it again for Sudbury. Heads it up to Provorov. Provorov back to Bennett. Bennett takes the shot. Stopped by Harabik. Kind of juggled it, but able to cover it up as that one seemed to handcuff him a bit. Now we get some pushing and shoving, something we haven't seen too much of so far tonight.
It's been a bit more of a calm game, and Nathan Villeneuve getting the goal there for the Sudbury Wolves. And he's a really good player in general, but he really plays well against the Barrie Colts. Couple goals last time these teams faced off, but then took a fighting major late in the game. Took against Brad Gardner, took him off the ice for some key minutes for the Wolves late in that game as they tried to come back.
Yeah, that was the undisciplined play in that hockey game where just the frustrations took over for the Sudbury Wolves that night. As we get the face-off now to the left of Harabik. Chidoroni taking the draw against Cole Baudouin. Baudouin will send this one back to the corner. Emerton takes it back behind his own net. He'll skate this one out. Emerton over to Baudouin. Cole Baudouin skates this one in for the Colts. Baudouin with the rush. Puck knocked off a stick by Yules. Puck goes along the boards. Schneid trying to get a stick on. Goes to Baudouin behind the net. Baudouin in front. Shot scores! What a setup by Cole Baudouin. And Emil Hemming makes no mistake, and it's 2-1.
Well, talking to Cole Baudouin before the game, he told me about him and Emil Hemming wanting to dominate in the OHL and prove to the Dallas Stars and the Utah Mammoth that they should be up in the NHL playing. And nice play by William Schneid, knocking it free from Chidoroni and Gavin Yules behind the net. And then Baudouin comes around, puts it out front for Hemming, who one-timers at home. And Barrie Colts have the lead right back.
That's now 4 goals on the season for Emil Hemming. What a setup, though. Cole Baudouin behind the net. So it's a 2-1 score as the Colts regain their lead. Puck sent deep. Leonard thought about coming out to play it. Puck comes around the boards. Hemming down low for Baudouin, back behind the net. Baudouin with possession. He'll come back to the point. Baudouin hits the brakes, staying with it. Takes the shot. Leonard the save. Puck's loose. Baudouin gets to his own rebound, trying to wrap around, but hits the side of the net. And Leonard will cover it up. But what a couple of shifts here from Cole Baudouin.
Well, I think Barrie Colts got a bit lucky there because when Gabriel Eliasson sent the puck in, I think one of the officials was about to call icing until Owen Leonard came out of the net there to stop that. And Blake Clayton looked like he may have taken an elbow from Cole Baudouin and trying to show the officials that his teeth are missing, but no call.
Yeah, Clayton is now yelling at the officials. As we can see from here, he's leaking a little bit, as it may have been an elbow from Cole Baudouin as they were battling in the corner. But the referee said play on. This remains 2-1. We're at the 5-minute mark of the second period as the Wolves get this to the line and out. Passmore has it between his skates. Coughlin sends this one into the Barrie zone. Kashawn Aitcheson will come back to collect it. Aitcheson, he's knocked over by Gonchar. Puck picked up by Salandra. Salandra takes a hit from Ferran. Picking up now from the Sudbury Wolves as Aitcheson gets this one down the ice. Gonchar will collect it now for Sudbury. Up the wing at center ice, collected by Villeneuve. Nate Villeneuve enters the zone. Villeneuve takes the shot, run over by Aitcheson. What a hit by Kashawn Aitcheson. Villeneuve did not see that one coming. Colts get it out. Asadorian at center ice. He'll skate this one in for Barrie. Asadorian sends it around the boards. Desiderio picks it up here for Barrie, sends it to the corner. Ferran sends it back behind his own net for Yules. Yules skates this one out. Reaches center ice. Gavin Yules goes for a skate, still with it. Drops it back to Coughlin. Coughlin waits, passes it across, but no one was there. Villeneuve fires. That's going to go wide of the net. Yules from the sideboards, back behind the net for Ferran. He's tied up by Hanser in front. Ends up back at the point. Yules takes the shots, and that one's deflected into the corner. Villeneuve, he'll send that one deep behind the net. Ferran. Alex Ferran staying with it, comes back to the point, gives it up to Yules. Yules takes the shots, and that's going to go wide of the net. Hanser collects it here for the Colts, as Sudbury has the Colts right now hemmed in their own zone. McCormick taken into the boards by Ferran. Hanser digs this one free, sends it behind the net for Vader. Teague Vader, he's going to skate this one out for the Colts. Vader at center, flips this one in, takes the hit from Walton. Chauvin loses it in his skates. Newton inside the blue line. trying to take this one in the zone. Jaden Newton takes the shot. That's going to go wide. Ends up on the far side in the Sudbury zone. Wolves get it out to center. Emerton knocks this one forward. McCormick had it for a moment. Martin's going to send that one deep. Off the end boards, Eliasson comes back for the Colts. Gabriel Eliasson drops it back. Walton, though, picks up the loose puck, sends it to the net. And Horebic able to pounce on that one, is not able to take advantage of that loose puck was Jan Hovan.
Well, not a bad effort so far by the Sudbury Wolves, though, out shooting the Barrie Colts right now. 15-11. They had a pretty strong start to this one, but Ben Horebic, another really good job in net tonight.
Yeah, shots right now favoring the Sudbury Wolves 15-11. As it's definitely the pace has picked up from what we saw in that first period.
Yeah, it's been an entertaining period so far. A couple big hits. The biggest one there from Kashawn Aitcheson. We already got a couple goals here early in the period thanks to Villeneuve and Hemming, the star players showing up here.
Yeah, so we'll see what's in store for the rest of the second period as Sudbury, since Emil Hemming scored that go-ahead goal, this Wolves team has picked up the pace. We've seen a lot more of the physical stuff in the forecheck. As this is a Wolves team, they've got a dangerous top line when you look at Walton and Villeneuve. As they've been reunited, Villeneuve's going to take this face-off for the Sudbury Wolves. And out for Barrie comes Brad Gardner.
Well, adding Hudson Chitteroni as well gives them another solid player to their top six. He's been out the last couple of games.
Face-off, won by the Colts. Eliasson just trying to get it out of the zone. Kept in by Walton. He's knocked over by Crombie. Puck sent down the ice. Gonchar is going to come back to play it for Sudbury. Off the end boards, Cairns ahead. Picked off there by Gardner. Gardner's pass deflected in the air. Ends up behind the net. Cairns will send that one around. Walton fans on it. Following it up is Chitteroni. Villeneuve drops it back to Hudson Chitteroni. That's going to go deep. Eliasson there to play it for the Colts. Gabriel Eliasson up the wing. Finds Carter Lowe. Lowe across. He takes a hit from Walton. That's center. That's Crombie. Flips it ahead for Gardner. Chips that one into the Sudbury zone. Doesn't go far. Taken away by Villeneuve. Gonchar sends this one back to Cairns. Cairns from his own blue line ahead. Walton got a piece of it. Doesn't go too far as Cole Emerton will find it for Barrie. Long stretch pass up to Lowe. Carter Lowe drops it back for Crombie. Crombie with a shot. And that's deflected out of play as the Colts just trying to get some momentum back in the Sudbury zone with 12:02 left to go in the period.
The second line of the Colts, they added Carter Lowe to it tonight with Bodie Stewart out of the lineup, and looked pretty solid tonight. A lot of time in the offensive zone. They're creating some good chances in the first period as well.
So face off to the right of Leonard. Baudouin taking the draw here against Clayton. But Clayton, he's going to be tossed out. So in steps Rowan Henderson. Scrambled draw. Colts trying to get to it. Sent back. Leonard had to kick that one aside. Cole Baudouin gets it in the corner. In a battle there with Ewells. Baudouin losing his glove. Still has it in his skates there. Now it's dug free by Brady Smith. Smith puts it off the back of his own net. He's able to recover. Facing pressure there from Baudouin. Smith in a battle. Baudouin takes it away behind the net. Trying to bank it in front. Went off the paddle of Leonard. Ends up in the near corner. Emil Hemming with possession. He's tied up by Ewells. Following it up is Baudouin. Cole Baudouin coming back to the point. Sets up Aitcheson. Kashawn Aitcheson nearly lost it. Goes back to Baudouin. Baudouin trying to keep it away from Smith. Gives that one up to Hemming. Hemming, high slot, staying with it. Takes the shot. Stopped by Leonard. Puck comes to the near side. Wolves able to pick it up. Berehowski gets this one out to center ice. Henderson comes up with it for Sudbury. He's going to send that one in. Goes off Aitcheson. Clayton's there. Henderson along the boards. Gets by Aitcheson. Henderson's pass off the stick of Kashawn Aitcheson. Side of the net. Clayton stopped by Horebic. Colts, they'll recover as the Sudbury Wolves make a line change. Long pass by Aitcheson. Goes off a few skates. Wolves back with it. Bennett losing it there to Asadorian. Passmore recovers. He'll go up to Aitcheson. Up the wing. Provorov tried to take it away. Desiderio sends it around the boards. Gonchar, first one on it for Sudbury. He'll send that to the near corner. After it there is Martin. Martin ahead. Dean trying to get a stick on it. Kept in by Hanser, but ends up making contact with a player on the Barrie Colts bench.
One thing I've noticed here while covering the OHL, Mike, there's a lot of Brady Smiths in the league.
There are. There's three.
We should bring them all together.
Well, the Sioux Greyhounds did that. Remember, because they had Brady R. Smith and Brady T. Smith.
I wonder what Smith this one is.
Well, they don't give us the middle initial.
Maybe he's S.
You could have a Brady Smith line. And of course, the one Smith traded to the Flint Firebirds. So you've got one Flint, Sioux, and here in Sudbury. You got the set. Puck's deep in the Sudbury zone. Playing it there is Bennett. Far side, picked up by Gonchar. Gonchar stopped there by Vader. Dean able to get a stick on it. Dean back to the line. Gonchar winds up. His shot stop. Rebound. Provorov sends it back. Loose puck. Perevic trying to pounce on it as that was just bouncing around. This line of Provorov, Bennett, and Dean causing some mayhem down low in the Barrie zone.
Yeah, a couple nice opportunities there. It started with Gonchar's shot from the pointer. Epic made the initial save, and then rebound came out, and a couple more opportunities for that Sudbury line there. And the way the puck was rolling around, you didn't know where it was going to bounce to next.
Well, we haven't really seen much of Ethan Dean tonight. I don't even know if we saw him in the first period, but able to get a decent shift. But Ben Horevic stands tall. Shots now 20-13 in favor of the Sudbury Wolves. Face off to the left of Horevic. Wolves trying to get a stick on it. Puck goes to the corner. There's Coughlin. Eliasson will take him into the boards. Puck goes behind the net. Picked up by Emerton. He's going to flip this one forward. Low, couldn't get a stick on it. Fuels at center ice, sends it right back into the Barrie zone. Horevic leaves it there for Emerton. Cole Emerton facing pressure there from Hovan. Taken away by Ferran. Back to the line. Cairns' shot deflected. Hovan will collect it again for Sudbury. Tied up by Eliasson. Puck's taken away by Gardner as the Colts skate it up. Here's Calvin Crombie. Enters the zone. Up to Lowe. Carter Lowe trying to go to the net. Takes the shot. Stopped by Leonard. And as that goes to the side of the net, now you got Coughlin going after Carter Lowe, but he's not entertaining the Sudbury Wolves' request.
A couple times Lowe's been getting into the crease like he likes to do and getting close with the netminder. And of course, the opposing team not going to like it. And then Lowe obviously not wanting to retaliate and take a penalty of any kind. But the Sudbury Wolves, it's interesting. 2 weeks ago when they played that back-to-back, felt like on the Thursday night they were very disciplined. And then they came back the next night and weren't as disciplined, but they're back to playing a very disciplined game here tonight.
Yeah, not a lot of penalties in this hockey game. No power plays yet for the Barrie Colts. 2 for Sudbury. They're 1 for 2 on the man advantage tonight. It was Nate Villeneuve who scored the power play marker. Wolves moving this one ahead. That's going to bounce out to center ice. Collected there by Passmore at his own blue line. Blake Clayton there on the forecheck. Schneid takes the hit from Henderson. At center ice, Aitcheson. Can't control that pass. Hemming gets this one in the zone. Aitcheson's going to chase after it. Gets in the corner. In front. Trying to set up Bodwin. At the point, Passmore. Hemming receives the pass. In the high slot, Hemming will skate to the far side towards the net. Leonard the save. Schneid couldn't get to that rebound in time. Wolves get this one out. Knocked down by Passmore. Sends us back into the Sudbury zone. Under 9 minutes remaining now in this second period. Still 2-1 for the Barrie Colts. Your goal scorers tonight, Justin Hanser and Emil Hemming. Here's Barahowski, enters the zone now for Sudbury. Vader reaching around, puck's in the corner. Vader trying to get a skate on it, but he falls on top of the puck. Gardner turns it over to Clayton. Clayton loses it. Gonchar keeps it at the point. Back to Clayton. Clayton settles it down, takes the shot into the crowd. It hits Henderson in front. Henderson able to collect it here for the Wolves. His shot's blocked by Vader. Colts recover. Hands are in the corner. It's in the skates of the official. Wolves regain possession, trying to go back to the line. Here's Gonchar. Gonchar holds on to it for Sudbury. Doesn't take the shot, trying to get away from Gardner. Takes it down low. Gonchar backhand, trying to bank it off Horevic, but he holds the post. Barahowski behind the net, tied up there by Hanser. Picked up here by Vader. Vader puts out off the boards. Gardner collects it. Backhand pass, goes over to Lowe. Carter Lowe on the far wing, carries it in. Takes the shot, blocked by Yules. Wolves look to take it back the other way. Onto the ice is Walton. Kieran Walton back to Villeneuve. Walton again from the corner back to Chitteroni. Backhand, that's blocked. And the Colts take it back the other way now. It's Joe Salandra. Salandra has that poked away by Martin. Puck goes to the corner. Salandra trying to play it. Martin lost his stick in the process. Chitteroni's there trying to jam at it. Colts making a line change. Desiderio after behind the Sudbury net. Walton on the near side now. Kieran Walton will drop it back to Martin behind his own net. Salandra there on the forecheck. Martin fans on the clearing attempt. Desiderio's there. Into the skates of Salandra. Kicks this back behind the Sudbury net. Yules doesn't have a stick. Yules falls while trying to kick the puck, and the Wolves will clear it out. That's going to go down the length of the ice. And are they blowing the whistle? That looked like it kind of stopped momentum before the red line.
I don't know if that one.
That was close.
I think the Sudbury Wolves would have a pretty good beef with that one.
Well, they're looking on the tablet right now. I wonder if they're trying to see if that was a missed icing call. But that was close. Yeah, looking by the body language of the Sudbury Wolves coaching staff, they're a little frustrated on that one. Well, face-off coming back into the Sudbury zone. Jaden Newton taking the draw. McCormick trying to get a stick on it. Pick rolled over his blade, and the Wolves get it out. Nate Villeneuve at center ice. That one goes off past where he lost sight of it. Villeneuve will pounce on it, trying to go to the net. Bumped off the puck by McCormick. Newton skates this one up. Villeneuve trying to put on pressure at center, runs him into the boards. Puck bouncing off the boards. Leonard's there behind his own net. Martin gives that one up to Jaden Newton. Newton catches up to that bouncing puck. Martin recovers, sends it ahead to Villeneuve. Villeneuve takes a hit from Passmore. McCormick going after Chitteroni. Puck goes deep into the Barrie zone. Jaden Newton from his own blue line chips this one forward. McCormick can't get a stick on it. And now that's an icing call against Barrie with 6:22 left in the period.
Well, up until that icing call, credit to the Colts fourth line here, McCormick, Gabriel, and Newton going head-to-head against the top line with Villeneuve, Walton, and Chitteroni at Sudbury and holding their own there.
And with this icing call, that line now stuck out on the ice. So Sudbury going with Ferran, Coughlin, and Hovan. So Jaden Newton will take this draw to the right of Ben Horevic. Face off one by the Wolves. Quick shot stopped by Horevic. That was Coughlin, I believe, who fired it off the draw. Puck goes to the corner. Hovan trying to keep it away from Aitcheson. Hovan takes the shot. Stopped by Horevic. Loose puck picked up by Gauvreau. Gauvreau fans on the clearing attempt. Puck will still escape the zone. Kieran's on the far side at center ice. Puck rolled on him. Putting on pressure, there's McCormick. Ferran, though, takes it back at his own blue line. Ewell's backtracking for Sudbury. Passes that one across. Hovan knocked down by Passmore. Wolves trying to move it ahead. Gauvreau still out there for the Barrie Colts. Knocks this one out to center ice. Ferran on the near side. He'll enter the zone for the Sudbury Wolves. Sends it back. Hovan couldn't get a stick. Cairns winds up, and that goes off the skate of Bodwin. Ewells gets the loose puck, takes the shot, blocker save Horevic, and that was a big rebound, but gave it right to Cole Bodwin. Bodwin's going to skate it into the Sudbury zone, hits the brakes. Bodwin's still with it. Barrie right now in the process of a line change. Bodwin to the net, blocked by Hovan. Schneid trying to get a stick on it. The Wolves get this one down the ice, kicked there by Emerton. Coughlin enters the zone, gives it to Ferran. Ferran from the corner. Takes his time, trying to keep it away from Emerton, goes back to the line. Gonchar winds up, doesn't take the shot. Gonchar now fires, and that's going to go wide of the net. Ferran on the far side, tied up there by Emerton. Bennett there as well. He'll kick this one along the boards. Schneid trying to tie him up. Puck taken away by Bodwin. Emil Hemming gets this to center ice. Ahead for Bodwin. He'll catch up to it. Cole Bodwin up to Hemming. Hemming shot wide of the net. That puck's going to come back to the point, kept in by Schneid. Along the boards, loose puck picked up by Smith. Brady Smith back behind his own net for Sudbury. 4.5 minutes remaining now in the second period. Wolves send this one around the boards. After it is Dean. Dean sends that one down low. Gonchar waiting for it at the point, taken away by Lowe. Lowe up to Gardner. Gardner sends that one deep. Crombie gives chase. Calvin Crombie overskates it. Gardner sends it to the point. No one there for the Colts. Bennett gets this one out for Sudbury. Bennett carrying this one in, hits the brakes. That puck rolled away. Colts with possession. They'll get this one out. Lowe ahead for Crombie. Calvin Crombie inside the blue line. Waits. His pass blocked there by Ewells. Wolves is able to recover, and Bennett gets this out to center. Hanser sends that one back into the Sudbury zone. Takes the hit from Dean. Both teams are making a line change. Wolves get it out to center. Here's Ethan Dean. Passing that one ahead. Here's Clayton going up the middle. Clayton to the net. He's tied up by Vader. The ref's arm is up, and it's going to be a holding penalty against the Colts defenseman as Clayton held up as he had the partial breakaway. And Sudbury now going on their third power play of the hockey game.
Vader just trying to do everything he can there to keep Clayton from getting a good opportunity on Ben Horevic, and he was able to negate the scoring opportunity, but takes a penalty in the process, which will lead to Sudbury's third power play of the game. 1 for 2 right now. That only goal coming on a
Villeneuve shot that was deflected by Evan Passmore into the net.
But it's a big chance here now for the Sudbury Wolves to get back into this hockey game, as they are still out shooting the Barrie Colts right now, 24-16. And there's been a couple of times there where Karevik's had a hard time tracking that puck. There's been a couple of bounces and rebounds we don't usually see from the Colts goaltender.
Yeah, Sudbury's been creating a lot of good opportunities on Karevik and been letting the puck out a bit more than he probably wants to, but stopped 23-24 again tonight. So he's kept the Colts out in front.
So the Barrie Colts making their change to get the penalty kill unit out. You've got Newton and Gardner up front with Passmore and Aitcheson on the point on this 5-on-4 situation. Jan Hovan will be the one taking the draw for the Sudbury Wolves up against Brad Gardner. 3:46 left to go in the second period. Face off won by the Colts. Wolves, though, get it back to the blue line. It's Gonchar. Sets things up. Goes to Walton. Back to Gonchar. He'll ride the blue line. Gonchar back to Walton. Walton, he'll peel back. Didn't like what he saw there. Kieran Walton down low. Barahowski trying to do the quick pass. There's the shot from Hovan. That goes wide. That's going to sail back to the point. Kept in by Villeneuve. Great effort there. Walton turns it over. Gave it to Gardner, but he can't get it out of the zone. Here's Nate Villeneuve now. Doesn't take a shot. Back to Walton. Villeneuve, one-timer, and that one's hammered wide of the net. And that's going to go out of play with a minute 27 left in the Teague Vader penalty.
Oh, I think a couple players regretting some stuff there. Walton first with the shot, and he fans on it. And then Gardner kind of not expecting the puck to just be gifted to him. It kind of stumbles as he hits it off the boards, and it remains in the zone. And then Villeneuve there, he hit the whole right side of the net and just sends it a bit too high up in the air and wide of the net.
Well, we've seen that a couple of times from Nate Villeneuve, trying to get that one-timer to go, but not able to connect. As the faceoff's won by Sudbury, Martin ahead to Villeneuve, across to Walton, winds up, his shot wide of the net. That's going to sail back out to center ice, so the Wolves have to regroup. Still a minute 14 left in this power play for Sudbury. As Martin passes that one ahead, Walton knocked away. Barahowski, though, able to get to that loose puck. Barahowski again to the near side, Villeneuve. Villeneuve sends that one across, knocked down by Baudouin. Barahowski after it, in front, a long backhand, and that misses the net. That was Hovan right on the doorstep. Martin over to Walton. Back to Martin. He'll settle things down here for Sudbury. His power play is down to 47 seconds. Martin again at the point. Goes to Walton. Walton will take this to the corner. Peels back. Kieran Walton sets up Martin. Near side, Villeneuve doesn't take the shot. Back to Martin. Over to Walton. Kieran Walton across, blocked by Baudouin, and the Colts will get it out. Emil Hemming has it at center ice, shorthanded. Emil Hemming takes it in. His shot stopped by Leonard. Puck goes to the boards. Martin there to pick it up for the Wolves. They're going to regroup. Power play down to 18 seconds. Provorov from his own blue line. Facing pressure there from Salandra, so he's going to peel back. So the Barrie Colts able to kill off another penalty here as Vader about to come back onto the ice. So Sudbury now 1 for 3 on the power play tonight. Ewell skates this one in. That's knocked away from him. Puck goes to the corner. Kashawn Aitcheson's there for the Colts. They'll send that one around the boards. Coughlin after the loose puck takes a bump there from Passmore. We have a minute and a half now remaining in the second period. As the rugby scrum continues in the far side, still in the skates of Chase Coughlin. Coughlin just holding it there, and the official comes over, and he's going to blow the whistle, and we'll get the face-off.
Another kill, like you mentioned, for the Barrie Colts, I think. Dylan Smoskowitz and the coaching staff is going to be pretty happy knowing that over the last 2 weeks, the only two power play goals against that the Barrie Colts have allowed was one on a 5-on-3 against the Sioux, and then here tonight off a pretty unlucky deflection.
And you mentioned it in the interview we did the other day, how the Colts kind of changing the penalty kill structure here.
Yeah, Ben Arebic mentioned it to me in the last Rogers broadcast, told me that before the year they tried something different, newer coaching staff. They wanted to change things up, and that didn't work out, so they've gone back to the old penalty kill, and it's working out so far.
Colts enter the zone. Here's Newton. His shot off the side of the net. Crombie has that one in the air. Batted there by Cairns. Coughlin's going to skate it out for Sudbury as we're approaching the final minute of the second period. Justin Hanser there to play it here for the Colts. Gives it up to Newton. Newton, he takes a hit there from Ferran. Puck rolls in front. Loose puck. They take the shot. Stopped by Horebic. That was Ferran who had the chance. Puck goes to the corner. Provorov up to Ferran. He's in a battle there with Gardner. Newton had it there for a moment. Ferran gets it again. Back to the point. Ferran to Provorov. Provorov will trade places with Karen, staying with it. 38 seconds left in the period. Provorov puts it behind the Colts net. Loose puck picked up here by Jaden Newton. He puts that one off the boards. Not out. Kept in by Cairns. Wolves with it. Coughlin down low to Ferran. Ferran has that poked away by Gardner. Brad Gardner passing that up to Emerton as the Colts get this one out of the zone. Back down the ice they go. Crombie taken away by Chitteroni. 16 seconds left. Henderson skates this in for Sudbury. He's got a lane to the net. Here's around Henderson, but the puck got away from him. Hrebeck losing his stick in the process. Henderson's pass off the skate of Gardner, and that's going to escape the zone. 3 seconds remaining. Chitteroni to the nets, and that will do it for the second period of play. As back and forth they go, both teams scoring in that second period, and it's the Barrie Colts holding on to a 1-goal advantage, but much better pace than what we saw in that first period. The first period felt kind of like both teams were being cautious in what they were doing, but second period, a lot more physical play and a lot more chances at both ends of the ice.
Yeah, and it led to a couple goals there, one apiece on both sides. And like you mentioned, that first period felt a bit slow on both sides, but here in the second, both teams having some good opportunities, laying the body a bunch more, and Barrie Colts have a 2-1 lead, like you mentioned.
Yeah, and for the Barrie Colts, that was a successful penalty kill once again. Now 1 for 3. Ben Hrebeck having to stand tall. There was a couple times where he looked like he was having some difficulties trying to track it, but as that power play went on, the pucks were going to the net. He was facing a lot of traffic, but he was able to keep an eye on that puck.
Yeah, Hrebeck's doing a great job again tonight, and it's kind of something that we're saying every single game. I mean, he's been absolutely fantastic this month for the Barrie Colts, and he's so relaxed in his net, and it's the same off the ice. You ask him a question about his personal play. He's so humble, just gives you a couple words. It feels great, and that's just kind of the person he is, and it kind of shows in net with how relaxed he is.
Yeah, he keeps things simple. So after 2 periods of play, it's the Barrie Colts leading 2-1 on the Sudbury Wolves. Shots right now 25-17 in favor of the home side. So it is the second intermission. We will come back to the chats as we continue our conversations from the first intermission, or if there's something else that you want to bring up that we can talk about, we'll definitely do that here as we wait for the start of the third period. But in the meantime, we're going to check in with Terry Doyle and the OHL news as it's the first intermission here in Sudbury.
Hello everyone, I'm Terry Doyle. Thanks for joining us on this week's edition of OHL News. Coming up on the show, we'll check out what's happening in the nation's capital. But first, this week's Cogeco OHL Player of the Week is Flint Firebirds forward Alex Kostov. He picked up 7 goals and 2 assists for 9 points and was a +6 in 3 Firebirds victories last week. It included a 4-goal performance last Friday night in a 9-3 win over the North Bay Battalion. The 19-year-old hails from Mississauga and was originally a third-round choice of the Sioux Greyhounds back in the 2022 OHL Priority Selection. He attended Nashville Predators training camp this past September. Meantime, a quarter of the way through this Ontario Hockey League season, and the Ottawa 67s are one of the top stories in the Eastern Conference. They started out this week's play with a 2-1 shootout victory over the Kingston Frontenacs in their annual school day game. Right after the game, I caught up with the radio voice of the 67s, Kenny Walls.
Thrill, I like to consider the right word for it. A nonstop thrillness. And oftentimes, having done 17 of these at home for the Ottawa 67s, the kids don't really have a team to cheer for. You're always cheering for the hometown team, but you're cheering for anything that happens on the ice for the most part. But recently with the 6-7 meme, a lot more kids are cheering for the Ottawa 67. So it's been a lot of fun. And the second one this year for the 67s, this one double the amount of kids than the one at the arena at TD Place. It's a lot of fun. I love seeing the kids having a blast. And It always seems to take place after Halloween, so the sugar high is always there too.
The game itself, Kingston Frontenacs, Ottawa 67s, two Eastern Division clubs, all the way to a shootout. And one of the big reasons was a guy I want to talk to you about is the guy between the pipes for the Ottawa 67s.
He's been special, and we haven't seen many 17-year-old performances in net like we're seeing from Ryder Fedorov. He's had one subpar game, and that wasn't even the one where he allowed 6 goals against Brantford. He was tremendous in that game. It was against Kingston. He allowed 3 and still gave his team a chance in that game. But over the rest of his starts, the 11 other starts, he's been outstanding. Heading into the game, well, today's game, I did the math on it, and if you take out that Brantford game, which you can't do, but let's say for the sake of the argument that you do, he had a 1.58 goals against average and 938 save percentage over the rest of his starts. It's been incredible watching him game in, game out, and he makes it look easy. And that's the part that I enjoy watching the most, is that there are some grade A saves that he just makes look like it's just another routine stop where he just absorbs it.
Let's not overlook Jaden Nelson as well, as the two have made quite a goaltending duo for the 67s.
He's been great as well. And yes, a year older, but you go back to Jaden's 16-year-old season when he was the playoff MVP for the Navan Grads on their run to the Bogart Cup in the CCHL. The pedigree is there, and last year was maybe a little bit of a down year. I think there was an adjustment period for him to life in the OHL. He's living at home, but there's an adjustment to the skill level in the OHL coming up. And early in the season, it may not have been the smoothest adjustment, but he certainly has adjusted in well. And the tandem has been nothing short of spectacular.
Kenny, if I took you back 2 months, what were your expectations for the Ottawa 67s coming into this season?
Before training camp, flip a coin. I had no idea where this team would fit in. Like a lot of teams around the league, there were a number of free agent signings, guys coming in, the unknown aspect of it. After watching training camp and seeing the drive, the work ethic, and really the determination of the group of players coming in as well as the returning players, I don't know if I would have said that they are 13-5, 1-1 type of good, but I knew they were going to be better than what they were last year. Watching this team practice early on in the season, it just had a different feel around the group. Last weekend, there was a morning skate in Niagara, and before the coaches were on the ice, the players took it upon themselves to start drills. And not just, okay, let's get this out of the way so we don't have to do it once the coach gets here. It was, let's run this to perfection so that when the coach does get here, we know what we're doing. And so these are player-driven initiatives that I haven't seen too often around the league. And it really is nice to see the results from the work that this group puts in.
And are you finding because of that, it is that overall team effort where it probably doesn't matter what line comes at you or who among the depth chart on the blue line seems to be able to contribute, whether on the score sheet or in other ways?
Yeah, there is that team atmosphere, and then you have your guys that you're going to lean on. The Cooper Foster of the world overager has been the most consistent player. The Jasper Kudas who come in and play an important role. Some defensemen. Caleb Deach has been tremendous over the last 3 weeks, month of the season, stepping up in large part due to the absence of Nolan Jackson and paired with Ryan White. And that has been a very good third pairing for the 67s. But it's a team-driven success. When you miss 3 of your top offensive producers for a minimum of 4 games in Thomas Vandenberg, Philip Ekberg, and Brock Chitteroni, who's off at the U17s, and you're still able to produce, that just speaks to me about the depth and the team atmosphere that the 67s have created.
There's been a change at the top of the hockey operations department. James Boyd, as general manager, goes to the OHL office effective next Monday as the vice president of hockey operations. Jan Eggert, a guy who's been around the Ontario Hockey League for many years. Maybe the average fan hasn't heard the name. He's been promoted to general manager. Fill us in on someone who's certainly put in a lot of time in this league.
A lot of time in the league and a lot of time around rinks. Anytime I talk to Jan, he's either just coming or just going to a rink. And one time, few years ago, I asked him how many games he takes in a year, and he said somewhere in between 300 and 400, I believe was the answer. So he's a hockey nerd. He loves getting in there. He has a very analytical mind. It was the right and seemed like the right progression for him to take. And I'm sure there has been other opportunities for Jan over the years around the league, outside the league, to either move on or move up. But it seems like he really likes Ottawa. The mentorship of James Boyd will be massive for Jan in the future. And it just seems like the right step for a very bright young hockey mind.
There was Kenny Walls, the play-by-play voice of the Ottawa 67s. A look at this week's CHL Top 10 rankings presented by Delta Hotels by Marriott sees the Brantford Bulldogs once again leading the way across the country. OHL representation also comes from the Windsor Spitfires at number 3 and the Kitchener Rangers at 7. That's going to do it for our show this week. You have been listening to OHL News. I'm Terry Doyle. Thanks for joining us.
Gunning that one forward, finds Carter Lowe through the neutral zone. Lowe waits, takes the shot, kicks aside, rebound, scores!
So welcome back to the Sudbury Community Arena as we get prepped for the third period of play between the Barrie Colts and the Sudbury Wolves. You have the second intermission. It's a 2-1 score right now for the Barrie Colts. And earlier today was the only other game tonight. It was the school day game in Kingston between the Frontenacs and the 67s. That's a 3-2 final where Cooper Foster scoring the game winner. I was trying to watch some of that game, and just the kids in the crowd. I could even hear the broadcasters at time in that one.
Well, we've talked about school day games a lot because it feels like every time we have a broadcast, some team's having a school day game. The Barrie Colts not one of the teams that do a school day game, which is kind of nice as a broadcaster. I mean, we'd have to get there about 9, 10 in the morning, and that doesn't even count for camera operators and people like that. They'd have to be there like 5, 6 in the morning.
Well, especially if a lot of your volunteers are in high school. Like, are you bringing the high school kids to the school day game? Or I have no idea how it works. We do have that one school day game that we're going to be broadcasting out of Brampton in March. So I'm not sure how that's going to all play out. But we'll have the broadcast here on the channel when we get to that. So we're about 6 minutes away from the start of the third period. Now, thank those who've been participating in the chat so far tonight. It's been pretty active, which is exciting to see. And I appreciate everyone for tuning into the broadcast here tonight and noticing some discussion about Arvin Jaswal. So I'm wondering how come Jaswal's not starting tonight? I'm kind of wondering if he's coming back from injury. He's missed the last couple of weeks. He was, being assessed and whatnot. They were being really cautious with Jaswal. And now back in line for the first time. Wondering if we see him Friday in Erie.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, it's a 3-game week for the Barrie Colts, and Ben Horebic is going to get more starts this year than Arvin Jaswal. He is the starter right now for Barrie Colts, and that means usually on a 3-game week, Horebic's probably going to get 2, and Arvin Jaswal is going to get 1. And you look this weekend, you got the Erie Otters and then the Niagara Ice Dogs. The Ice Dogs, the team you're competing with for the Central Division right now, so I think that's the game Ben Horebic gets to start in. But there's a couple back-to-backs coming up for the Barrie Colts. Next weekend, they play here in Sudbury before playing Kingston the next night. I'd suspect Jaswal gets to start here next Friday. And then after that, they have another back-to-back with Ottawa and Kingston. And that one I think he'd probably get the Kingston game.
Yeah, we've got a lot of road games coming up over these next couple of weeks. Right now, the Colts starting that 4-game road trip away from the Saddle Arena. And in the pregame in the coach's corner, talking with Dylan Smoskowitz, talking about how tomorrow is going to be a travel day to Erie, Pennsylvania. It's such a weird scheduling because we're in Northern Ontario here tonight. And then you have to travel down south to Pennsylvania for a Friday. So it's a lot of juggling for the team to prepare. But he said sleep's going to be important for the players. No ice tomorrow, but they'll get back on the ice at the Erie Insurance Arena for a game day skate on Friday. So it's fascinating just to see how it all works behind the scenes.
Yeah, definitely. And the one thing about the start of the Barrie Colts season was how many home games they had. You want to take advantage of that because eventually you're going to have to go on the road for a bunch to make up for the heavy at home compared to road schedule to start the year. And the Barrie Colts, that they struggled a bit out of at the start of the season, maybe didn't take full advantage of that heavy home schedule. So now you got to turn it around and you got to steal some wins on the road that you maybe coming into the year didn't expect you were going to. Going down to Ottawa is a very tough place to play with the way the 67s are playing so far, but Ottawa came up to Barrie and they picked up a victory. So you got to go and do the same thing in the TD place.
Yeah, so there's only one home game between now and I think it's over the next 3 weeks.
It goes
because it's November 29th at home to
December
Kingston.
12th when Sound comes to town.
Yeah, so it's a lot of road games coming up. But the good news is that we will be broadcasting all those road games here on the channel. So if you haven't clicked subscribe here on the channel yet, make sure you click subscribe so you'll be notified when the live stream gets underway. And this is actually going to be your first time going to Erie. Erie's a fun barn.
You've been telling me that really since I remember like our first stream, you were telling me how excited you were to go to Erie. It's a really entertaining place. I think there was a guy in the comments talking about going to Erie in that game. So maybe we'll see him.
You never know.
You never know who you're going to run into when you're working an OHL broadcast.
Yeah, we've bumped into a few Barrie Colts fans along the way. So it's been pretty exciting just to see everyone in the OHL community coming together. And we'll see how this all comes up. And Tammy mentioning that's the Teddy Bear Toss, November 29th home game. Yes. You did, I think your first hosting job was the Teddy Bear Toss, correct?
It was actually it's going to be the day after this year's Teddy Bear Toss game. It's the 1-year anniversary of my first hosting gig, which was the Teddy Bear Toss game. And all I remember is, a bit nervous to get it underway. And then I had to go out and find Coach Elspa and a sea of bears. And we were having issues finding him. Took him a while, but eventually got there and it all worked out.
So if you are going to the Barrie Colts game, November 29th against the Kingston Frontenacs, make sure you bring a stuffy to toss on the ice. It's always a lot of fun seeing the Bears rain onto the ice after the Barrie Colts score that first goal of the hockey game.
There were some big ones last year. There was like a huge pink one that went flying on the ice. There was one on the left-hand side of the ice that like the entire roster of the Barrie Colts had to come over and help them lift it over.
So it's always a lot of fun. So we've got a few road games to go until we get there. But it's going to be a ton of fun. And Tammy's saying I bring 3 big ones. So so when we're doing the broadcast for that game, we're going to have to keep an eye out for a big bear, and that's probably going to be Tammy.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, 3 of them. She's going to be just continuously firing them over.
That's amazing. So cannot wait. So make sure you mark that on your calendars. November 29th in Barrie as they take on the Frontenacs for the Teddy Bear Toss game. So the teams both on the ice. So we're going to get ready to go for the third period of play. And we're going to switch color commentators. We're going to get Gene Pereira joining us back here on the broadcast as it's been an entertaining game. It's been another part of the rivalry matchup between the Colts and the Wolves. It's always fun when these two go head to head, but we'll see how this third period shapes up. The Sudbury Wolves, they were picking up the momentum in that second period, getting pucks to the net. They've now had 3 power plays tonight. Sudbury 1 for 3 on the man advantage so far, but Ben Horebic having to make some big saves, and the penalty kill unit continues to get the job done as this one is going to go down to the wire, I'm sure.
A bit similar to the last time these two teams met here in Sudbury, where the Wolves had a really good second period. That time they come back and tie it, but Hemming with that quick goal to put Barrie back on top. But I think a little bit more push from the Wolves in that second period. We'll see if that continues here in the third.
So the third period underway. The Colts will win this draw. They'll send it back. Evan Passmore with it. Passmore ahead. Crombie got a stick on it. Walton's going to send this one back. Wolves have it in their own zone. Walton blocked there by Crombie. Calvin Crombie in the slot, trying to go to Gardner, but that was out of his reach. Gardner collects it along the boards, back to Passmore. His shot deflected, puck's in front. Lowe with the backhand, and again, the Wolves just surrounding Carter Lowe, and that puck's going to go out of play.
Carter Lowe looking up, wondering what an opportunity there in front of the net, but his backhand attempt was off a stick and up into the crowd. This line's been pretty good here tonight. Last time the Colts had a big third period effort in Sudbury last time these two met to really put it away. After Sudbury had come back and tied it at 3-3 heading into the third. See if the Colts can repeat with another big third here on the road in Sudbury.
So face-off won by the Colts. Passmore dropping it back to Crombie. Crombie to the net as Aitcheson was coming in from behind, but couldn't get a stick on it. Wolves get this one out to center ice. Gardner back to Passmore. Up the wing. Aitcheson chips this one in the Sudbury zone. Here's Crombie. Takes a shot. That's going to go wide of the net. Some good pressure early on from the Barrie Colts to start this third period. Here's Kashawn Aitcheson again. Enters the zone. He'll send this one around the boards. Down lows Crombie. Quick pass. That goes off a couple of skates and back into the Barrie zone. Gabriel Eliasson will come back to collect it here for the Colts as we played 1 minute into this third. Eliasson dropping it back to Emerton. Cole Emerton reaching center ice. He'll dump this one in. Around the boards it goes. Cairns gets a stick on it here for Sudbury. That'll escape the zone. Walton's tied up. Newton from his own blue line sends it back to Eliasson. Drops it back to Newton. He's going to peel back behind his own net. Jaden Newton. He's forced back by Walton. Newton still with it. Now goes to Emerton. Cole Emerton up the wing. Picked up here by Hemming. Hemming drops it back to Eliasson. Villeneuve on the forecheck. Takes it away. Here's a chance for the Wolves. Ferran shot. Stop. Rebound. Colts will pick it up. Newton doesn't get it out. Cairns keeps it in. Takes the shot. Blocker save. Horevic. Villeneuve fires, and that one's going to go wide of the net. Puck's kept in at the point by Gonchar. He'll send this one around the boards. Villeneuve down low for Sudbury. Nathan Villeneuve, already one goal tonight for the Wolves. Back to the line. Walton stopped by Horevic, and he's going to cover it up as this line always putting on the pressure, and Horevic getting the better of him.
Well, this Wolves line, time in and time out, so good, so big, and Ben Horevic just so calm back there. Just such a presence back there and the ability to kind of remain in position after making the stop and be in position for the next one.
It almost seems as though Horevic thrives on more shots, or at least that's what it appears from our vantage point.
You often hear that from the goalies. They don't like going long stretches without, getting some action. And Horevic certainly subscribing to that.
He makes another pad save on Hoban. There's a shot from the point, and Horevic gets the glove up on Brady Smith. As that's now 30 shots on net from the Sudbury Wolves.
The Colts not doing a bad job of keeping everything to the outside, but the Wolves here applying a bit more pressure. A good start to this third period for the Wolves. Remember the last time Barrie really dominated that third period here, helped Hagenbach get his first OHL win.
So face off to the right of Horevic, won by the Wolves. Smith, the point, takes the shot. That's going to go wide. Loose puck picked up by Desiderio. He's going to go for a skate. Nicholas Desiderio takes the hit from Ewell. Salandra follows it up. Joe Salandra behind the net. Bumped there by Smith. Puck comes around the boards. Vader trying to keep it in, but that puck got by him. Coughlin after the loose puck into the Barrie zone. Coughlin has that poked away by Hanser, and the Colts regroup. That's taken away. Here's Provorov in the slot. Waits. Loses the handle of it as that shot wide of the net. Wolves get it again. Coughlin takes the shot. That's going to go over the net. Provorov on the wing. That shot blocked by Vader. Salandra comes up with it, and the Colts will move it up. Joe Salandra at center. That's deflected. Bouncing into the Sudbury zone. Brady Smith will settle it down. 3 minutes now gone here in the third period. Puck's in the neutral zone, taken away by Carter Lowe. Lowe, that goes off Clayton. Puck's sitting there. Dean pokes it into the Barrie zone. Passmore collects it, takes it around his own net, leaves it for Aitcheson. Aitcheson up ahead for Crombie. Crombie can't get that one out, kept in by Henderson, but he gave it right back to Aitcheson. Carter Lowe fans on the first dump-in attempt. Second one will go to the corner. Martin gets to it first for Sudbury. Sends it back behind his own net. Gonchar up ahead to Dean. Dean gives it to Henderson. Henderson skates this one in for the Wolves. Rowan Henderson trying to get by Emerton. Puck goes behind the Colts net. Clayton now. That's knocked away, and the Colts will move it up. Here's Crombie at center ice. He'll send this one deep. Puck goes to the corner. Gardner trying to get possession, but it's taken away by Gonchar. Dean chips that one ahead to Henderson. Dean's going to go after it himself. Along the boards, tied up there by Emerton. Henderson gets it in the air. Eliasson takes him into the boards. Loose puck. Crombie back to the line. Ewells keeps this one in for Sudbury. That shot deflected. Ends up in the near corner. Emerton will get to it. Up the wing. Jaden Newton now. They send it off the boards. Schneid chasing after it. Ewells gets to it first, but looks like we're going to get an icing call, or it's going to be a penalty for too many men on the ice. We got the official over at the bench. And I think we might be getting a penalty here against Gabriel Eliasson.
Scott Barney has to like the way his team come out here in this third period, and it doesn't look right now.
No, it's not going to be a penalty. I thought they were calling something.
An opportunity for Provorov there, and the Hanser giveaway in front of the net. Provorov can get a good stick on it.
So the Colts will get this one out. It's Schneid at center ice. Ahead, Hemming chips it in the zone. Jaden Newton follows it up. Newton trying to get around Cairns. He's taken into the boards there. Newton on top of that loose puck. Ferrand has it in his skates, taken away by Aitcheson on the backhand. That's blocked by Ferrand. Aitcheson gets to the puck in the side boards. That's taken away by Walton. At the line, Hemming can't get a stick on it. Nate Villeneuve at center ice, up to Cairns. Cairns loses it. Ferrand follows it up and puts it wide of the net. That puck sails back to the blue line. Villeneuve keeps it in. Walton comes back to the point for Sudbury. Looks over his shoulder. Hemming's there. Puck sent back behind the net. Aitcheson back behind his own goal as he settles things down. We're past the 5-minute mark now of this third period. Still 2-1 for the Barrie Colts. Hemming and Hanser, your goal scorers tonight for Barrie. Villeneuve for Sudbury. As that's going to be sent around the boards. Asadorian gets to the loose puck deep in the Sudbury zone. Around the net. Smith trying to get a stick on it. Tied up there by Asadorian. Battle continues. Wolves with it. Salandra trying to knock it free. Puck's knocked to the corner by Provorov. Gonchar behind the net. Goes back to Smith. At the line, Hovan will get that one out. Salandra sends it back into the Sudbury zone. Leonard thought about coming out of his net. Brady Smith will come to play it. Up to Hovan. Hovan will send that one forward. As Coughlin tips that one into the Barrie zone, rolls to the net. Harevik will give it to Vader. Teague Vader facing some pressure there. Puts it off of Provorov. Provorov to the net. Coughlin couldn't get a stick. Backhand stopped by Harevik. Puck's loose. McCormick can't get it out. Puck comes to the near side. Hovan, his pass blocked by Vader. Coughlin back to the line, picked up here by Martin. Martin takes the shot. That's blocked by Crombie. And the Colts regain possession and get it out to center. Martin knocked there by McCormick. He finds a loose puck, trying to go to Gardner. And that's a delayed offside here against Barrie. Sudbury able to regroup. As Martin has it in his own zone. Over to Ewells. Ewells off the end boards to Martin. Sudbury stuck deep in their own zone as time's becoming a factor here for Sudbury, down by 1. Henderson picks up the loose puck. He's going to skate through the neutral zone. Rowan Henderson chips that one deep. He's taken down by Eliasson. Puck goes behind the Colts net. Schneid giving it up to Asadorian. He's going to skate this one through for the Colts. Up to Schneid. William Schneid to the net. Takes the shot. That goes off Asadorian. Asadorian back to the line. Emerton trying to keep it in. He will. That goes off Ewells, and Bennett will skate it out now for Sudbury. It's going to be sent around. Harevik back behind his own net, leaving it there for Emerton. Emerton has to be careful the side of the net. Almost gave it up to Bennett. Loose puck collected by Schneid. He's going to take a hard hit by Cairns. Puck goes deep into the Sudbury zone. Both teams complete line changes as the Wolves regain possession. Skating it ahead is Blake Clayton. Clayton through the neutral zone. Gives that one up to Villeneuve. He'll send that one in around the boards. Walton after it. Tied up by Desiderio. Turns from the shots. And that's stopped by Harevik. Rebound! And Harevik makes the second save with Nate Villeneuve getting to that loose puck.
Again, the Sudbury Wolves, the Colts still looking for their first shot of the period. Under 8 minutes into this. And the Wolves, I think that was shot number 8. It's been all Sudbury in this third period. A much better effort by Sudbury here in this third period than the last time these two teams met. No, even on the defensive end there, some big plays in their own zone, and Aitcheson trying to walk the puck out of the zone, and nice defensive play by Ferrand. There to kind of Aitcheson walked out in front, had an opportunity, and Ferrand knocked the puck off his stick. And again, Scott Barney has to be happy with how his club has come out here in this third period.
Well, they had that big win over the Saginaw Spirit over the weekend. It was a scoreless game up until the midway point of the third. Saginaw finally scored, making it 1-0. And then with 90 seconds left, the Wolves ended up winning that hockey game and snapping their lengthy losing streak. So this is a Sudbury team. They can dig deep, and trying that strategy again here tonight against the Barrie Colts.
You don't give up a lesson. It doesn't matter what time of the game. You just don't take the foot off the pedal. And for the Wolves, they got rewarded. And down here by goal late, plenty of time with 12:24 remaining here.
So face off to the right of Ben Horevic. Face off won by Brad Gardner. In front, Crombie gets that one across. Cairns keeps that one in. Crombie trying to get it out. Picked up here by Carter Lowe. He reaches center. He's going to dump it in. Puck goes to the near corner, bouncing behind the net. Villeneuve after it. Lowe goes after it there. Looks like there may have been a high stick. Play continues. Gardner's shot stopped by Leonard. Lowe gets it in the corner. Trying to go to Gardner. Taken away by Gonchar. Puts it behind his own net. Cairns will collect it now for the Wolves. Gets it out to center ice. Picked up by Passmore. That goes back into the Sudbury zone. Cairns will collect it now. Sends it back behind his own net for Gonchar. Cairns up to Walton. Kieran Walton has it in his own zone, reaches the center ice. Kieran Walton weaving his way into the offensive end. Walton takes the shot, and a nice glove save by Horevic as he flashes the leather.
Well, Walton allowed to kind of weave his way into the zone and that one away. And a physical one here. And again, the Colts, just not much time in the Sudbury zone in this third period.
So face off now to the right of Ben Horevic, down to 11:36 remaining in the hockey game. Shots heavily favoring Sudbury, 35-18. Face off won by the Wolves. Back at the blue line, it's Smith. Back to Yules. Yules takes the shots and the paddle down for Horevic. Looked like it may have gone out of play. Play continues. Passmore gets it in the corner. Provorov is there for Sudbury. Now it's going to make contact with the netting, and we'll get a whistle.
Well, there's nothing to do. Coughlin and Aitcheson. It looked like Aitcheson may have thrown Coughlin into the penalty box, and Coughlin gets caught for retaliating.
Chase Coughlin continuing to have words for Kashawn Aitcheson. I don't think any penalty was called after that.
Wow.
So Coughlin trying to get under the skin of Kashawn Aitcheson. It remains 5-on-5. 11:21 remaining. Now we've got the linesman having a word with Coughlin and Aitcheson as those two line up beside each other on the faceoff.
They're tied up, so Coughlin's still jawing away, and Coughlin gave him a pretty good shot. I thought that drew a penalty, but officials just determined to let them play it out here in this third period.
And still no power plays tonight for the Barrie Colts, as that's going to go down the length of the ice. No icing. There's a shot from the wing from Jovan, but that's going to go wide. Puck goes back behind the net. Kashawn Aitcheson. Jovan trying to take that one away, and then Coughlin with a hit there on Aitcheson. That's going to rile up the crowd here at the Sudbury Arena. Yules takes the net. His shot stopped by Horevic. Puck goes in the air. Back at the point, kept in by Smith. Passmore after it here for Barrie. He's bumped there by Jovan. Jovan in a battle still with Evan Passmore. Now we got a delayed penalty call coming, and it's going against the Barrie Colts. I think they're calling holding here on Evan Passmore, and then Chase Coughlin going nose to nose with the Colts defenseman.
Coughlin gets away with it. Passmore got a man wrapped up in the corner. Huge power play opportunity for Sudbury coming up.
So this is now the fourth power play of the hockey game for the Sudbury Wolves. They're already 1 for 3 tonight. It was Nate Villeneuve who scored the power play marker for the Sudbury Wolves. Face off to the right of Horevic. Scramble draw. Bodwin will send it back behind his own net, collected by Eliasson. Hemming, he's just going to send this down the length of the ice. Keep things simple here for the Barrie Colts. So Gonchar will come back to play it. Artem Gonchar ahead for Walton. Kieran Walton Sends that into the Barrie zone. Berehowski after it. Eliasson gets to it first. Hemming puts it off the boards. That's going to go right down the ice. The Barrie Colts not giving Sudbury any time to set up on this man advantage. Still have a minute 28 to work with as Gonchar sends that one up to Villeneuve. Villeneuve hits the brace. Facing pressure there from Newton. Walton inside the blue line. Back to Villeneuve. That pass deflected. Here's Gonchar. Back ahead to Villeneuve. Nate Villeneuve trying to come to the net, but that's poked away. Gonchar to Walton. Fans on the pass attempt. Walton down low to Berehowski. Berehowski back to the line. Gonchar winds up. Doesn't take the shot. Back to Walton. Gonchar again. Fires. Stopped by Hrebeck. Walton back to Gonchar, over to Villeneuve. Villeneuve passing it to the front of the net, and Chauvin will put it in and ties this game at 2.
Chauvin with all sorts of time, got the puck in front of the net, no chance for Hrebeck. And Sudbury, their second power play goal of the night. It's been where all their offense has come from here on this night. And the Wolves get rewarded and it's back on even ground.
So for Chauvin, that's now 5 goals on the season, and that's a big one. But Sudbury Wolves back into the hockey game as penalties becoming an issue here for the Barrie Colts late. Hanser. He's tied up by Henderson, but he's able to send it back to Emerton. Here's Calvin Crombie. Crombie will send that one into the Sudbury zone, off the end boards. Ewell's there to play it for the Wolves. Around the boards it goes. Dean can't get it by Hanser. Now it's sent out to center ice. Henderson skates it up for Sudbury. Henderson, he'll peel back. Rowan Henderson takes the shot. That's blocked by Crombie. Calvin Crombie collects the loose puck. That's going to go deep into the Sudbury zone. Crombie bouncing off Ewell, sends behind the Sudbury net. Gardner's down there, can't get a stick on it. Picked up here by the Sudbury Wolves. That's Martin. Martin gets it out to center. Picked up here by Passmore. He'll send that one across. Puck rolls around the boards. Martin's going to collect it now for Sudbury. Takes the hit there from Schneid. Back behind his own net, Gavin Ewells. 8.5 minutes left to go in this hockey game. We're tied at 2. Jan Hovan getting the power play marker to tie this one at 2. Sudbury looking to complete a line change. Cairns will collect it now. Cairns up the wing. Bennett tips that one into the Barrie zone. Hrebeck stays in his net. Aitcheson's there for the Colts. Ahead for Hemming. Emil Hemming. He'll skate this one out. Schneid couldn't get a stick on it. Gonchar sends it back. Hemming sends it back into the Sudbury zone. Gonchar picks it up in front of his own net. Fans on the pass attempt. Second one will find Provorov. Provorov ahead. Bounces over the stick of Coughlin. Kashawn Aitcheson gets it in the corner. Aitcheson behind the net. Flips that one ahead to Baudouin. Baudouin up to Hemming. Hemming at center ice across to Baudouin. Baudouin trying to go to the net. That rolled on him, and Leonard will clear the zone. That's going to go down the length of the ice. We got a delayed penalty call coming against the Sudbury Wolves. So a delayed penalty here. Now we're going to get a whistle. And it's going to be a holding penalty here against the Sudbury Wolves.
Well, that one on Cole Baudouin, who draws that one. Trying to split the defense and get it across there. And the Wolves player had him tangled up. And Barrie gets their first power play of the night.
Well, they're going to set things up here as the Barrie Colts get ready for their first power play, brought to you by Frontline Hockey Apparel. You can check them out at frontlinehockeyapparel.com. So the Barrie Colts power play right now, 5th best in the OHL at 26.4%, while the penalty kill for the Sudbury Wolves ranked 10th at 79.2%. Face off here to the right of Leonard. And they're going to do this over again as this face-off wasn't done cleanly. Clayton against Baudouin in the face-off dot. Oh, Clayton now being tossed out, so Rowan Henderson will step in for Sudbury. Face-off won by the Colts. Gardner back to Emerton. Sets up Hemming. Down low to Baudouin. Cole Baudouin behind the net. He'll skate this one around in front. Emerton first scores! Cole Emerton! That's his first career OHL goal, and that one was a snipe to the top corner.
What a shot by Cole Emerton. And look at that smile on that face. He's got his first OHL goal. And what a goal it is. Talk about a highlight goal for him. Comes on the power play after the Wolves tie it. Bowden's just going to get it out front to Emerton. And look at this finish right in the high slot. Going to bring that wrister top corner. Right over the shoulder of Leonard, who barely moves on that one. And what an exciting moment for the young defender.
What a blast from Cole Emerton. That one, he's going to want to get a highlight of that one, as that was a snipe. So we've got both Emerton and Hanser, the defensemen, scoring their first career OHL goals tonight.
I like it. Different sources coming up big.
There you go. So the Barrie Colts back in front. 3-2 hockey game. 7:13 left to go. In front. Here's Crombie, scores! Just like that, it's now 4-2 for the Barrie Colts as Calvin Crombie puts it 5-hole on Leonard.
Oh, what a turn to this one. Just after the Wolves. Really good start to this third period. They get the power play, they capitalize, but Barrie, there's 2 quick goals here. And then get it out in front to Crombie all alone, and he makes no mistake putting it underneath Leonard. Those goals just 13 seconds apart.
You can now hear a pin drop here at the Sudbury Community Arena as they were building momentum. They tied the game, and then Cole Emerton and Calvin Crombie, 13 seconds apart, make it a 4-2 hockey game. And for Calvin Crombie, that's now 6 goals on the season. Under 7 minutes remaining, Asadorian ahead to Desiderio. Saw Gonchar coming last second, avoids the hit, but looked like Gonchar got the worst of it. Here come the Wolves. Coughlin tips that one deep. He'll go after the loose puck himself. Coughlin behind the Colts net, tied up there by Hanser. Bovan will come back into the corner, chased there by Vader. Bovan in front, that's blocked. Salander will send it out. Desiderio gets a stick on it. Chasing after it now is Asadorian. Alex Asadorian, he's bumped there by Smith. Ewell's passing that one ahead to Chauvin. Chauvin carrying this one in now for Sudbury. Takes the shot. Stopped by Hrebic. Rebound, Provorov, and that's blocked. Ewell's gets a chance, and he fires that one wide. Kieran's at the point for Sudbury. Takes the shot. Hrebic gets the glove on it, and he's able to hold on. And, of course, you got Chase Coughlin standing in front, and Luke Govro taking some exception to that.
No, look at Eliasson coming in and saying, hey, calm down. Bro, recognizing you're up 4-2. You don't want to get any unnecessary penalties. No surprise, Coughlin right in the middle of that. But credit to the Wolves here. They come right back. A little bit of pressure, get down by 2, 6:13 remaining. That Crombie goal. What a setup by Kashawn Aitcheson along the boards to find Calvin Crombie in front. 2 goals, 13 seconds apart.
Well, Crombie's had quite a few chances here tonight. He had a crossbar in the first period. And right now has that insurance marker for the Barrie Colts with 6:13 left to go in the hockey game. Shots favoring Sudbury, 41-20. So the Barrie Colts making good on their opportunities. Face off to the right of Hrebic. Scrambled draw. It's in the skates of Provorov. Sends this one back. Chauvin has possession of it. Skating around the Barrie net. Trying to rip around, but puts that one through the blue paint. Kieran's at the point. Fires that one wide. Govro taking a bump there by Chauvin. That's going to send back to Jaden Newton. Newton dropping it for McCormick. Jonah McCormick ahead. Here is Govro. He'll send that one deep. Kieran's first one on it here for Sudbury, and Jaden Newton's there. He's tied up by Henderson. Govro trying to knock this puck free as the rugby scrum ensues to the left of Leonard. Continue to jam at that one. Newton losing it there to Cairns. Cairns passing that one over. Berehowski up to Clayton, knocked away there by Hanser. He'll send that one back. Evan Passmore off the end boards to Justin Hanser. Hanser will skate this one ahead, reaches center ice. Hanser dumping this one in. Baudouin's going to give chase. Puck ends up behind the Sudbury net. Smith lost the handle of it. Hemming pokes that one around, picked up by Baudouin. Baudouin across, finds Hanser, but that bounced off his skate, and the Wolves get it out. Clayton up to Henderson. Henderson, backhand pass, can't connect there with Clayton. Puck's in the corner. Baudouin chips that one off the glass, picked up now by Henderson. Henderson, the high slot, backhand, turned aside by Hrebic. At the blue line, it's Martin. Martin will send that one down low. Loose puck. Berehowski alone in front. Backhand puts it wide of the net. He had an open cage to work with, but can't connect. At the point, Martin to Smith. Smith sends this one around the boards. Henderson behind the Barrie net. Vader knocked that one away. Baudouin collects it. Under 4.5 minutes left to go in this hockey game. 4-2 Barrie. Baudouin just doing circles in his own zone as Colts complete a line change, as are the Sudbury Wolves. Eliasson being chased. Gives that one up to Crombie through center. Calvin Crombie enters the zone. Doesn't like what he saw, so he takes it back out and then dumps it in. Leonard behind his own net to play it. Leaves it for Smith. Brady Smith over to Yules. Yules keeps it away from Crombie. Reaches his own blue line up to Walton on the near side. He's going to dump that one in. Ends up behind the Colts net. Alex Ferran is there. Bumped there by Eliasson. Emerton has it in his skates. Backhand pass up to Gardner. Wolves take it away. Villeneuve settles it down. Goes to Kieran's on the near side. That got away from him. Crombie there to play it. Eliasson behind the net. Over to Carter Lowe. Lowe fanned on it. Puck's loose. Wolves trying to get to it. Ferran can't settle it down. Picked up here by Crombie. Crombie back behind his own net to Emerton. Ferran trying to chase Emerton out from behind the net. Here's Calvin Crombie now. Crombie reaches center ice. He's got Asadorian with him. Goes to Asadorian. In front to Crombie. Then had a stick lifted by Villeneuve. McCormick blocked the clearing attempt. Now Cairns will get this one out to center ice. Hammering that back into the net was Passmore. As we're down to 3 minutes left to go. Cairns up to Walton. Kieran Walton passing that one across. Finds Chase Coughlin. Coughlin gets by Hanser trying to go to the net. That's knocked away from him. Puck goes back behind the Colts net. Picked up by Salandra. Joe Salandra on the wing through the neutral zone. He'll skate this one in for the Colts. Salandra trying to get around Martin, around the net, in front, and that goes off Yules. Puck will escape the zone. That's center ice. Salandra sends it back into the Sudbury zone. Leonard out of his net to play it. Leaves it there for Yules. Yules, he'll skate this one forward for the Wolves. Over to Chauvin. Chauvin enters the zone. Takes a bump there from Vader. He's knocked down. Vader takes it around his own net. Goes to Schneid. Schneid up to Baudouin. Cole Baudouin through the neutral zone with speed. Trying to go around Yules. That's poked off his stick. Schneid there to find the loose puck. Back to Vader. One-timer. That's going to go wide of the net. Provorov will get to the loose puck. Yules across. Finds Martin. Martin at center. Decides to drop it back to Villeneuve. 2 minutes now remaining in the hockey game as Leonard is making his way to the bench for the extra attacker. So the extra man out there now for the Sudbury Wolves. Villeneuve to Walton. He's going to chip that into the Barrie zone. Panzer puts that one off the glass. Knocked down with a high stick by Villeneuve. And we're going to get a whistle with 1:41 left to go in the third period with the Barrie Colts up by 2.
Oh, Wolves with the pressure, but the Colts doing a much better job of, again, just getting that puck deep into the Sudbury zone, working the clock. 1:41 remaining. And what an opportunity there for the young Berehowski, who made a nice move, but just couldn't finish it on the backhand. But Ben Arebic, another big night here tonight.
Now 40 saves for Ben Arebic tonight. As right now the officials having a conversation. Not sure if it's about the time remaining, but we'll get this face-off outside the Barrie Colts blue line. Gardner taking the draw against Ferran. Henderson and Crombie now being told to move back. And it's Ferran now being tossed out. Ferran not too happy about that. In steps Nate Villeneuve. Villeneuve against Gardner. Some tense moments here before the draw. Now they'll drop it. Face-off won by the Colts. Passmore sends it back to Hanser. Net is empty. That's going to go down the length of the ice. Newton couldn't get a stick on it. Now it's an icing call against the Barrie Colts as time slowly ticking away.
Minute 33 and another big draw coming up here. And Scott Barney and Sudbury going to call a timeout here. That's the question. Got to set up a play here, and I think they are.
Well, Barney had the clipboard up as he was pointing to where he wanted the face-off, so he does get the timeout. So some tense moments here is the Sudbury Wolves, they tied the game at 2. They had the momentum. They had that power play goal. But then the Barrie Colts turn it around. 2 quick goals, 13 seconds apart between Emerton and Crombie, and that's the difference right now.
Well, you can feel the Wolves coming. They got off to a good start in this third period. They're getting some opportunities, and you get the power play and you capitalize. And both their goals tonight have come on the power play, but it's how you respond. Earlier, when Sudbury tied it in that second period at 1-1, Barrie came right back with that Hemming goal to take the lead. And again, when Sudbury comes back to tie it, what do the Colts do? 2 goals within 13 seconds, and that's the difference here tonight.
So we'll get this face-off to the left at Ben Horebic. Colts getting the players over to the face-off dot a little slower as Cole Beaudoin's going to take the drop against Alex Ferran. Colts also have Crombie and Hemming out there with Beaudoin as he gives some instructions before the puck's dropped. Face-off, won by the Colts. It rolls to the corner. Hands are trying to hold it along the boards. 1:28 left. Empty net down the ice, and that's going to go wide as Crombie saw that open net and thought, why not go for it?
Empty net again, possession so big here. 1:24 remaining. These draws so big. Beaudoin out there for Barrie, no surprise. Hemming, Passmore. Hanser, Crombie.
So it's going to be Beaudoin against Ferran here in the face-off dot once again. You got Coughlin slashing sticks with Evan Passmore. Face-off one by the Colts. Hanser gets this one down the ice. It's bouncing. And that's going to be another icing call against the Colts as Hanser trying to get that down the ice slowly as you had Calvin Crombie skating down the ice.
Coughlin just introducing himself to all the Colts. I mean, we've seen Eliasson over the last couple of games especially, and now him and Passmore are going at it. I got a feeling there's not going to be any Christmas cards exchanged. I
Maybe not.
I could be wrong, but
well, these two teams are going to meet again next Friday here in Sudbury.
That's what happens when you face these games that come so only a short few days apart.
That shot goes off the post from Hovan, and again blocked this time by Passmore. That one stung. Peck kept at the point by Villeneuve across. Walton shot stopped by Horebic. Rebound, puck's loose. Side of the net. The Wolves can't capitalize. That was Ferran. As that puck wouldn't settle, Villeneuve fires that one over the net. Walton on the far side. Comes off the boards. In front. That's taken away. Chauvin gets it again. Back to Villeneuve. We're in the final minute. Villeneuve can't keep that in the zone. 45 seconds remaining. Nate Villeneuve at center. He's going to dump this one in. Around the boards it goes. Ferran after the loose puck. He'll keep that one down low. No, it goes out of play. So this faceoff should come outside the Barrie blue line. We'll see.
Well, you've got to give Sudbury credit here. They haven't taken the foot off the pedal in that shift. They did everything but they scored. They hit the post, and great opportunity in front by Walton. And another big stop by Horebic. For a game that, started out kind of so-so,
yeah,
it's turned out to be a good one here.
Yeah, that first period was, if we look past the first period, this game's been great. So face off to the right of Horebic, battle along the boards. Jovan will move that one around, far side to Walton, 30 seconds remaining. Walton keeps it down low. Jovan tied up there by Hanser. Passmore knocks down Coughlin in front of the net. Ferran moving it back to Villeneuve. He'll ride the line, takes the shot off the post. Provorov again, keeping this one in. Another chance, stopped by Horebic. Wolves trying to keep that one in. It's knocked out to center ice. Provorov will come back, 7 seconds. And now we're getting a whistle as Coughlin going after Evan Passmore. And it looks like both Coughlin and Passmore will be going off for that little tussle with 6 seconds left in the hockey game.
Well, they both gave each other kind of chops. Coughlin swung his stick, and then Passmore with a big two-handed chop on Coughlin's shin pads. I mean, those two have been going at it for a few minutes. Coughlin trying to create a bit of chaos in front of the net. Last game it was Aitcheson and Coughlin. Now it's Passmore, and before that it was Eliasson. Chase is kind of, getting to know everybody, all the Colts defensemen back there.
Well, that's the thing with Chase Coughlin, not afraid to mix it up with the opponent. And that's on full display once again here. As both Coughlin and Passmore in the penalty box. So 4 aside, 6 seconds remaining. Villeneuve taking the draw here against Newton. Empty nets, and that's going to go in. And I believe it's going to be McCormick who finds the back of the empty cage. And that's making it a 5-2 hockey game with 1.9 seconds remaining.
Well, that'll do it. The Colts find a way again. Sudbury comes out in this third period, gets the equalizer, but Barrie, 2 goals in 13 seconds. Now Newton puts the exclamation point on this win. And Barrie comes into the Sudbury building again with another win to kick off this road trip.
So 1.9 seconds left. 5-2 is the score. As they want to drop the puck. Just let the clock run. But this is going to be a final score. Right now, the officials reminding the Sudbury Wolves that it's 4-on-4 hockey, so Dean's going to go to the bench. And now we'll drop the puck, and that will do it as the Barrie Colts have won back-to-back games and have extended their point streak now to 10 games.
Well, another 40-save effort by Ben Arebic. He had to be sharp in this one, and he was. Outstanding effort by Ben Arebic. That Sudbury team, they pushed hard in this third period. Credit Scott Barney's club here. They didn't give up and found a way to get it back on even ground. But Barrie, they've done it twice here. Come right back and Emil Hemming after Sudbury had tied it in that second period. And then the Colts, including Cole Emerton's first OHL goal, 13 seconds apart, 2 goals in that the third period between him and Crombie. And Colts, the difference here tonight.
And I think what really stands out here tonight for the Barrie Colts is just the different goal scorers. You get, like you mentioned, the first career goals for Cole Emerton and Justin Hanser. McCormick with the empty net goal there. You're seeing some different players contributing, and that's what you want. You want that depth scoring, especially as this season goes along.
Yeah, I mean, you want, obviously, you're getting it back from defenders as well, and not Kashawn Aitcheson tonight. No, that just really speaks well. Justin Hanser with his first OHL goal as well tonight. But again, that's what you want. You want, scoring comes in. It makes it hard to defend teams that get scoring from different angles. And the Colts, again, tonight, not a lot of power play time, but they capitalize on the one that they do. And it's the difference maker here tonight.
So the Barrie Colts, of course, they're going to be playing 4 in a row away from home. Game number 1 is a victory. And Dylan Smoskowitz mentioned that in the pregame, how they won Monday, they won Tuesday, and now they can say they won Wednesday as they continue to chip away at this road trip and now prepare to take on the Erie Otters Friday night.
Well, you take it day by day. And again, it doesn't matter who you're facing. You go in and face the Western Conference team in Erie on Friday that has had its own struggles. But as the Wolves proved tonight, that was tooth and nail. And, again, Barrie's able to kind of dig this one out and find 2 quick goals and 2 wins. But this Sudbury team tonight, they were much better here tonight. I mean, they had that really good second period last game, but tonight I thought their third period much better. They really kind of carried play early in the third, finally got the equalizer, but credit to Barrie. They were able to put the foot back on the pedal. And, how about Cole Emerton? That smile said it all.
And that was a great shot, too, on the power play as he fired that one top corner, picked that one off. So a great job there from Cole Emerton. Now we're going to do our 3 stars of the night. Brought to you by Craighurst Crossing by Georgian Communities. New homes, minutes from North Barrie, where inspired living meets small town charm. Your 3rd star tonight, Cole Bodwin, 2 assists. He had a monster of a game here again for the Barrie Colts. 2nd star, Jan Jovian. He had that power play goal, tied it up. Sudbury had the momentum, and Barrie came back. And Ben Hrebeck, 1st star with 43 saves tonight. Are we surprised?
Not surprised. I mean, Ben just keeps to do it. And, Big Ben, I mean, just another big effort. And, what can you say about the guy that, you come off where you expect to get drafted. Everybody's telling you to get drafted, you don't. So how do you respond to that? Well, I mean, Ben's just been outstanding, and it just getting better here. This little stretch that he's on right now has just been outstanding. He came up huge, some big stops that third period. Had a little help here and there from the iron, but that's okay. Sometimes you need a little help, and just another big effort by the Barrie Colts goaltender.
Yeah, nothing wrong with a little help from your friends. As Ben Hrebeck getting that here tonight, as it's a final score 5-2 is your final for the Barrie Colts. As now we prepare for the next broadcast in Erie, Pennsylvania. The Barrie Colts hitting the road. You can catch the broadcast here again on the channel from the booth with Mike. If you haven't clicked subscribe, click subscribe so then you're notified when that live stream gets underway. And we'll have the chat going again. It'll be Josh McCann and I doing the broadcast. So can't wait for that. But like I said, final score for Gene Ferreira, for Josh McCann. I'm Mike Poirier saying so long from the Sudbury Community Arena.